All right, then let's see here. Okay, so let's get to this recap since we're all here now. It's been a while, so it might be a little bit longer than normal. Last session began with the party standing victoriously over a pair of freshly vanquished fire giant foes. As they catch their breath, a swarm of knights dressed in red chainmail descend upon the shattered and badly damaged gate. Through labor and magic, they begin repairing it immediately. It is here the party identified Sir Jux of Cord, the leader of this particular faction of knights. After some brief dialogue, Sir Jux of Cord, impressed with the party's ability to fell giants, leads the party to the city square within the city of Lover's Rest. The city square, surrounded by the temples of Cord, St. Cuthbert, Yondala, and Pelor, is the meeting place for the city's leadership, which happens to be the leaders of the respective temples. Introduced here to head priest Yokun of St. Cuthbert and head priestess Viola of Yondala. From here, information was exchanged and the party was healed and resupplied. The party on a tip and led by Sir Jux of Cord made their way just outside the city to its swampy, wild surroundings, towards the house of Pixel Gunner, the last of his family name and best source for information on traversing the volcano in order to locate the fire giant leader, Galt the Gorer, aka General Firefoot. Upon meeting the Tabaxi, the party played a few harmless games of dice and cards and exchanged some banter. But after some kind of shady back and forth, Pixel and the party leave it up to a game called Guess. Playing, of course, for the map they need versus a hefty sum of gold and maybe their lives. Pixel, then claiming to possess one of the party, actually hides within a covered cauldron and leaves the party to the game. This results in every single member of the party being turned on and brutally stabbed by one another, some having closer brushes with death than others. The party catches on to the devious Pixel and confronts him, claiming victory over the game of Guess, and they receive an ornate and beautifully well-made tapestry, almost like a large rug. Also, it happened to be upon this rug, it's also a well-made map. As well as on top of this, Pixel kind of breaks the map down and gives you general directions to the lair of General Firefoot upon said map. The party then completes the ritual, but to their dismay and Pixel's delight, the party also unknowingly aided Pixel via the strength consumed by the dagger of Nirul, the god of trickery and death. And they help him complete some sort of ritual with a yet unknown purpose. He hovers briefly as tornado-like winds surround him and the party, destroying his shack, uprooting bush, shrub, and stone alike, casting out everything hundreds of yards in all directions. And with a flash and a thunderous boom, he was gone, and the party left alone in the swamp at roughly midnight. From here, within a day, or sorry, from here within a dry patch of surrounded by swamp water. Blade magically summons a bit of shelter for the party. Logos and Lokris manage to locate only one of the two stashed nearby coin purses. And as the very wounded party takes shelter and beds down for the night, Logos takes watch, noting only that a few members of the Red Fist came to inspect the area, likely because of the short, violent windstorm, and then they take their leave. The night ends with Renwick and Lokris both plagued by odd and sometimes frightening dreams, taking the final watch and discussing patrons. And as the sun rises on yet another day in Danaal Wisech, the buzz of insects, the skittering of small swamp and woodland creatures, and birds tweeting in the distance, the sun crests the horizon, and that is where we are now. So, yeah, you guys are where Pixel's home used to be, on this like elevated stretch of swampland, essentially. And yep, mucky trekking in all directions. But at this point, as soon as the sun crests the horizon, you can hear not only the hustle and bustle of the forest, like in swampland around you, but off in the not too far distance, the hustle and bustle of the city of Lovers Rest as well.
And just to confirm, we got a long rest through all that, so everybody's officially level 8 with all their accoutrements, if you will.
Correct.
All right, well, let's get the others awake and get on down to town so we can go dungeon or cave diving. And Locris will cast Mage Hand. Just start slapping the people still sleeping in the face with it.
You are all somewhat abruptly awoken with a good stern slap from an invisible hand. As the party kind of stirs, I imagine Blade's spell, I think, what is it, 8 hours or 12 hours or something like that?
Yeah, I think it's 8 hours. I can look it up, but I'm pretty sure it's right around there.
So kind of as the sun kind of crests, the magic fades and turns to dust all around you guys, kind of leaving you exposed out in the swamp.
And Glader kind of just wakes up swinging after getting smacked in the face by this Lucas's mage hand. Just like, what the hell is? Oh shit! It's a daytime already.
Wakey, wakey, we got places to be and people to kill.
I feel like Blade probably would have slept through that being the party prima donna. So he Glader would kind of like stretch his foot out and like kick him in the ass. Like, wake up!
Blade will kind of like roll over me. What the hell? I provide shelter, and this is how I'm treated.
Yeah, come on now. Logus, come on. And Glader will stand up and kind of start getting his stuff together, putting his armor back on, making sure his weapons and shield are, in order as he gets ready to hike back to the city.
Okay, and is that where the party's next destination is? You're going to return to the city of Lovers Rest?
Where actually are we going? Are we going straight back to the city, or are we going after this general? I mean, I feel like we kind of stocked up a little bit right before we left.
I didn't know if they wanted if they were going to make a move when we went into the caves against this general, or they were just going to sit on their asses and wait for us to return.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Not gonna lie, I can't remember our plan.
If I'm being honest, boys, I'd be persuaded to go either way. It seems like we can stock up or we can head straight, toward the goal. But I don't know. I can't say that there's much that I necessarily need to pick up specifically. So I'm kind of of the mindset that we push forward.
Yeah, looking at my notes, they were Viola's men, the Bountiful Hands, were going to try and track where the captives were taking, but I think I think we have a general direction in which, like, we know where she is, right?
Well, if we're looking for Tilinara, she's in like an amulet that
Yeah,
the general is wearing, and we just got the map that helps us navigate the volcano that he's
right.
at.
Yeah, to get through to where she is. Okay. I mean,
Yeah, sort of a back entrance instead of going through all the giants to get there.
yeah, I mean, they already got a group of people working to find the other captives of the city. So we might as well go and find our specific captive. And then if we come across them and the rest of the hostages, we can help them. But I mean, I feel like we kind of have our main goal, which is to get Tilinara.
Well, that's certainly the driving force behind me, standing up next to a fire giant. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm gonna do everything I can to save my dad. And hopefully, along the way, we'll find out something about my mom. But in the meantime, I mean, I'm pretty dead set on taking this motherfucker down.
Yeah, I mean, if we cut the head off the snake, then the rest of the body dies. So if we take out the general, sure, it's going to be a lot easier for the city to get their hostages back. So we might as well just go straight forward.
Well, if we can
Didn't
sow
they
the seeds
say
of an
the
entire
giants?
rebellion,
Yeah, didn't they say the giants really didn't get along with each other and somehow were just under this guy's command?
Yeah, I think you're right.
yeah, they said that he was able to unite them. Although it's not a common trait for most giants. So if we
Yeah,
cut it off at the head, then a house divided cannot
it-
stand.
yeah, uncharacteristically smart and tactical for a giant is what I wrote down. So yeah, I mean, if everyone else is all fine with that, let's just go straight for the head of the snake.
All right, let's go. We'll make Logus lead the way.
Um, do we have an idea of like how far away this mountain is? Can we see it in the distance?
Yeah, you can see it in the distance, and you have a map of pretty much the entire island, and it's very large, very intricately made. It's like a large rug that was hanging as like a tapestry, like a wall hanging. You do know that it is a little more than a day's worth of travel because the caves that you guys need to get to are on the opposite side of the volcano, and they are about 3/4 of the way up. And it looks like the best route will be to go around the volcano and up it rather than up it and then around it. Most of the fire giant tribe lives on the side of the volcano that is currently facing you.
Gotcha. And we didn't get mounts to come here, right? Like it's just a short walk from the city.
Correct.
Okay.
So
Well,
I don't have my donkey, do I?
No, you left your donkey on Borsland. You teleported to
Oh,
Wafed
that's
Isle.
I do believe that you put him in a good place, though, somewhere that's going to take care of him before we left.
Yeah, don't worry about your brother.
yeah, they took him to a nice little farm up north.
They took
Wait,
him to Tijuana.
Wait, a farm up north?
Well, that poses another question. Do we want to hoof it on foot or take the short jaunt back to the city, get some mounts, and maybe cut down our travel time by a little bit?
When we were in the city, did we notice any mounts?
Also, a good question.
So a good point. You did notice some mounts in and around the area. It looks like similar to Borsland. Lover's Rest has like a coastal shipping like port, so there is a lot of there is a one single main road that goes from the coast to the inland. But for the most part, the surrounding area is swampland. So you did notice a lot of like boats and houseboats and tents pitched on canoes that people are essentially living in. But yeah, not a lot of mount action. A lot of like the Italian guy pushing the boat along with the stick under the bridges type of stuff.
Yeah.
Well, I think I could get over there fairly quickly thanks to my dimension door, but you guys would be pretty screwed. So let's just start hoofing it.
Yeah, we might as well just start walking. So it'll probably only cut like half a day anyway. If we got, I mean, by the time we walked back to the city, found some mounts, purchased them, and then went off, like the amount of time we probably would have saved would have been spent buying the mounts anyway.
So one thing you guys would kind of know is the direction that you were led from the city. If you were heading towards your goal, you're gonna have to essentially go back through the city to get. You are on the opposite side, so.
Oh,
Oh, well, in that case, we'll just, we'll make a pass through the market district on our way through and, carry on about our business.
yeah, it wouldn't hurt to check.
I could buy Gibraltar a friend.
Yes, a friend to go up to that nice farm up north.
Yes, preferably something a little bit more travelable so that you don't have to board it in a different city, because eventually you're just going to have animals all over the place, and that's kind of hard to keep track of.
And what's wrong with that, my friend?
Well, nothing, but I thought your idea was to build an ark and the ships in one place, so if you've got animals all over the place, it's going to be a hard time getting them all in one, like all on the boat.
He just likes having an ass in every port.
Right.
I can respect a sailor that lives by that.
All right, so yes, I guess we walk back towards the city because we're heading that way anyway, and see if there's any like stables renting or selling mounts on the way through.
Okay, as you guys kind of make your way back through the muck and the outer region of the outer outskirts of the city, you guys make your way back to Lover's Rest. And as you do, you see a familiar trio of people stands kind of waiting just beyond the gateway, and they seem to be having a bit of a conversation. It is the head priest and priestess of the temples of Yondala and St. Cuthbert, as well as Sir Jux of Cord. And they seem to have all arrived relatively at the same time at the gates. And Sir Jux of Cord kind of turns to them all. You've decided to help them too. This is a good sign. We can appreciate that the gods work together. And he kind of gives the other two a bow. But as the party approaches, the trio of leadership of the city of Lover's Rest kind of halt your progress.
Who is the third one? The priest of Yandala, Cord, and who else?
Viola is the priestess of Yondala. Yokun is the head priest of St. Cuthbert. And Sir Jux of Cord is the lead knight of the Temple of Cord.
Okay, thank you.
So, upon your return to Lover's Rest, this trio kind of stands in front of you. And you guys enter, and Sir Jux of Cord, this big half-orc wearing this red chainmail, just kind of grins ear to ear. And he kind of calls out to you, "You have come and done us another favor. It is good to have such fortuitous events." He looks back to the other two and then back to you guys again. "We have agreed to help you. What bodes well for you will bode well for us as well. The gods unite to offer you some boons. It is imperative that your mission goes off without a hitch. The city will not sit idle while you risk your lives, so by all means, we accept our boons." And he kind of looks to the duo that is not speaking, and the Yokun from St. Cuthbert kind of shifts uncomfortably and looks to the priestess of Yondala, and Viola specifically kind of steps forward, and Renwick, she comes specifically up to you, and she kind of says, the blessings of the nurturing matriarch are best handled by her chosen folk." And she presents to you from underneath her robe a golden and white hand crossbow made from gold and white polished stones and wood, and inlaid in a polished white wooden handle is a golden holy symbol of Yondala. It's a ram horn used as a cup for overflowing fruits, vegetables, and grains. And she hands it to you, and she kind of bows and says, "May the protector and provider both protect and provide." She bows and leaves the hand crossbow in your hands.
My lady, I'm without words. Well, I mean, if I'm being honest, I've been looking for one of these for a long time because the old one looks like it's about to fall apart. But I mean, this is just absolutely stunning. I'll put it to good use. And he kind of bows.
She smiles and nods and kind of gives her blessing and steps away. And then Yokun kind of addresses the whole party when he steps forth. "It is not the way of St. Cuthbert to reward the thought of justice, nor the attempt of justice. Only justice truly being done. Our temple will offer incentive to your quest, and perhaps some compensation, perhaps motivation or a way of means. We don't know, but we don't really care. 300 gold pieces for the head of any fire giants you may come across. Yet 5,000 gold to be paid for the head of Golt the Gorer, or as the locals call him, General Firefoot. Perhaps this boon of flowing gold, should you complete your quest, will offer greater incentive."
Yeah, I like money.
Sir Jux of Cord looks at them and just kind of expectingly and just kind of snorts. He says, "Huh. And the boon from Cord will see to protecting you all. Follow me." And he then leaves and from the main square towards the main square where you guys had all kind of met before. For sake of brevity, as you guys kind of follow along, you notice that the villagers or the city folk of this place seem to be in chipper spirits for people that were just attacked. You know, they have gone to rebuilding. You hear, you know, some action at some nearby pubs and things as you make your way towards the city center. But you are for sure gawked at by many onlookers as you are traveling with not only the leadership but are, you know, slowly becoming local celebrities in the Alliance Isles. But so, as you follow Sir Jux of Cord, he enters the town square. Now, each corner of the town square has a large, like, guard tower, and each of these guard towers is adorned with the many colors of the various gods. So he marches his way to the the Tower of Cord. It's got many banners of cords, like red and black colors, hanging off the windows. And as he throws the doors open, marches by these red and black banners, as you enter this Tower of Cord, you walk through red iron double doors into an impossibly large entry hall, like obviously magically enchanted somehow. As the exterior tower could in no way encompass the vast room that you now find yourselves in. 30-foot vaulted ceilings of this great room go hundreds of yards wide and long. Like within this great room are a plethora of activities going on of the Red Fist, this faction of knights that follows Cord. Training, like mess hall activities, the running of a small forge or two, a few sections dedicated to like a chapel, some altars and pews and all. Many clergy and knights donning red and black, and as well as the symbol of Cord, and they all rush about with a vigor about their tasks. And Sir Jux of Cord just kind of leads you through this chaos of people. And so after a few aisles, sections, rows, columns, towards the back of this great room, with many of the Red Fist watching, Sir Jux of Cord walks into an area in the back filled with what appear to be a great many mannequins, each donning a slightly different form of glittering and glimmering armors. He gestures to the many rows of highly armored mannequins and says to the party, "Select a suit you like. Me and my adepts will fit it to you proper. The brawler offers his blessing in hopes that you succeed, for our goals are aligned. Galt the Gore being slain alongside the good witch being free, both bode for the greater good of my people. Cord, as well as I, would see you succeed." He gestures then to the many available suits of armor, as well as a plethora of shields hanging upon a nearby wall. All of these suits of armor, though they vary in different size, shapes, and textures, all have a tint of red to them in color. And there are many, many shields adorning the walls, similar in color. Everything you see seems to be in a red tint with a lot of black, like tones. Even the metals, the chainmail, the full plate. And Sir Jux of Cord just kind of gives you free reign.
Imagine Renwick is just like kind of turning the sand crossbow over and inspecting it thoroughly and then looking at the armor. And he just looks at the party. He's like, "Do you think they're gonna have anything that's gonna match my new crossbow? I mean, you know me, as captain, I like to look good." And he's like still wearing those ornate clothes that we got from the vampires that betrayed us.
Glader doesn't say a word. He just just mouth agape, just runs forward like a giddy schoolgirl, just checking out all the armor.
Yeah, Blade will kind of follow along with him, kind of inspecting the armor, see what there is to offer.
So, of the various and many, you guys are seasoned adventurers at this point. You're no strangers to like an armor or stall or a blacksmith. And you see before you in many different shapes and sizes of armors. Essentially, the Sir Jux of Cord is offering all of you either a +1 suit of armor of your choice or a +1 shield size and shape of your choice. But you are, he is offering his armory to you, and you get your choice. You want some studded leather? It's in the finest condition you've ever seen it, and it glitters and glimmers with a red hue of kind of protective magic. You want full plate armor? Same deal. It's got this red tinted hue to it, but it glimmers with magic, and you might find a symbol of Cord etched into the leather bindings here and there, but for the most part, it is all the metal seems to be color tinted. It's everything is in the colors of the god of Cord, the god of strength. but essentially you get your free reign of some free magic items here.
My chain shirt's already a +1, so I'd be going after a shield.
Same deal, +1 shield available for sure. Any size, shape, or anything you particularly fancy?
Um, I'd say probably looking at one of those never actually used, but shields that get hung up in Renaissance festivals, half body size.
Okay, yeah. Grab like a large metal shield. That works.
So are these all just like regular +1s? So they would still have disadvantage on stealth for the armor?
Yeah, the heavy plate mail. Extra protection, but it's not quite so good on like lubrication. You still kind of grind and
Yeah.
clink and clank everywhere.
I'm confused how the armor works. I put on a stud. I was gonna take a studded leather +1, but my armor class didn't move at all on D&D Beyond.
What armor were you wearing before?
Just a regular studded.
And it
It was
didn't
one of
go.
the studded leathers we took off of Brucey.
You might just have to refresh your page if you've already switched it to the +1 studded leather.
Sometimes you gotta equip it and stuff too.
Yeah, because studded leather is, I think 13 plus your
It's
deck.
12 plus dex.
Well, with the +1, it would be 13 plus dex, right?
Yeah, that's what it should do.
Yeah, so it should be your modifier. Your AC should be 13 plus whatever your dexterity modifier is, or in
That's what
proficient.
I thought. So it
If you're
should be at 18, but it ain't moving. I'll figure it out. Logos will take a +1 studded leather.
Yeah, you just kind of choose what set of armor you're interested in, and a couple of adepts come over and they remove it from the mannequin. And they help you put it on. They help you tighten up and cinch the armor and make sure it fits and whatnot. Make sure you're ready to go. So yeah, you got a couple of stewards kind of helping you get into your new suit of armor.
Out of curiosity, so I have Masterwork studded leather, which is effectively a +1, just non-magical. So this would technically be an upgrade because it would be magical armor, but it wouldn't change my AC or anything, correct? Because I can just change the name of this armor and I'll just add like a Masterwork studded leather into my inventory that I could sell later.
Yeah, you could do that for sure.
All right, word. I will definitely do that. I will get custom fitted for my halfling fancy red armor.
Yeah, because I think I got some studded or +1 studded leather from Brucey. So would that was technically I think mastercrafted as well. So that would be kind of similar situation.
Yeah, so like the mastercrafted item would be like something of such a good make that it gives you a better bonus because it's exceptionally well made versus something that's enchanted.
Gotcha. Okay. So Blade will kind of look around and maybe find a piece of armor. Maybe Brucey's was a little more scuffed up, and maybe try to don some studded leather armor.
Yeah, and some stewards come help you try it on and make sure everything fits. Tighten it up and whatnot where it need be. And you guys notice that it's like super fine quality armor. It looks like it has yet to have ever been used.
How do we classify this? Is this just like masterwork armor of cord, or
Just a +1 suit of armor. You could call it of cord if you like.
I think Glader would try and find some full plate armor because currently is um, only wearing half plate, and he'd probably find out some nice looking full plate armor to try on.
And with little trouble, you find a sharp looking set of full plate armor with this like red tint to it. A few carvings of cord in the breastplate, but for the most part, it's pretty elaborate. And some stewards come over and help you fit into the gear and whatnot.
Yeah, I'll take that. I'll take a +1 full plate then.
All right. So after you guys kind of load up on a few things, Sir Jux of Cord looks satisfied. He has like a big shit-eating grin on his face, and he kind of gives you a low bow. Well, thank you for everything. Kind of gives the lowest bow possible, and you know, like when he bows, you notice like all of the commotion around this area stops, and like everybody in the whole chapel takes a knee and kind of respect to you, and he kind of once he comes back to from his low bow, he kind of wishes you guys luck. Kind of with the pounding on his chest, he proclaims, "May the Cord God look out for you. The brawler is always vigilant." And he pounds his chest, and the entire like community around also do like a chest pound in unison. And then you guys are kind of getting fitted as he goes chatting about a few things to his generals nearby and whatnot. So freshly fitted with some new fancy duds, some armor, some shields. What does the party want to do from here?
Glader is just like grinning from ear to ear, kind of like doing some squats and lunges and like kind of swinging his arms around, trying to get used to his new armor. The guys, uh I like this. Definitely glad we took on this quest for these guys.
Renwick would have found the nearest mirror and or reflective surface. And I imagine he's just doing like cool poses in his new armor with this beautiful crossbow. And he's just like admiring how far he's come and how like he used to just basically be wearing like shabby sailor's garb.
Yeah, Blade would kind of be looking in the mirror as well and just kind of like, well, I don't know if there's more protection, but it's a nice color. It looks good on me.
All right, prima donnas, let's go get your new outfits dirty.
Yes, yeah, maybe we should head on to our next objective. We're thinking about maybe just looking along the path to see if we can find any stables.
I mean, I suppose finding mounts wouldn't work. Or sorry, wouldn't be the worst thing. But we can work with Adam. So what are you lot feeling?
You guys want to hunt down some mounts? Is that the plan?
Blade would love to.
What was the distance from the town to the volcano?
Not far, but you have to go to the opposite side of the volcano, so it's about a day's journey. And it looks like if you go over the volcano directly, like straight line A to B, that takes you through the most populated area of Giants. It looks like the safe route would be go around, but it is your call of which direction you'd like to take.
Well, it seems like the move, boys, is to find some mounts and take the safe way around.
Question, Renwick. Have you ever heard of the story of Atreyu?
I can't say it rings a bell.
So there's this old tale called The Never-Ending Story. It's still going on, they say. And a boy was riding his horse through swamplands until he got sucked down and died. I think if we got mounts through the swamps where everybody's on boats, we will be riding Atreyus.
Well, that is a fair point. I failed to take into account swamp.
So
Well, in
could
that
see
case,
if
should
they
we
have
be looking for a boat to
Honda,
get through the swamp?
Yeah, some sort of raft or boat that we might be able to skirt through at least portions if it's that swampy. But I just don't think a ride's going to be happening on four legs.
Can we inspect the map to see if we can find a direct, or at least direct-ish, route via water?
Go ahead and give me an investigation or nature check. We'll say survival. You could throw that in there.
I'll assist.
Yeah, investigation is my best. Can I get advantage if Locris is helping me
Oh, for sure.
inspect? All right. So do an investigation. That's not bad. 16.
With the 16, as you're kind of looking at the map, it doesn't look like there is a direct route. It looks like you are going to be doing a bit of not only coming through the marshlands, but it looks like there is like a marshy river or two that kind of just runs into this like thick grassland type of an area. Looks like you're almost guaranteed to have to go from land to water and back again. You know.
Well, fellas, I think this is gonna be an interesting trip, no matter which way we go, whether we find a boat or whether we find some horses. So,
Well, we've trudged through a desert and plenty of other terrain. I'm sure we'll make it through this. And now we'll do it looking fucking good. And he just kind of like gestures to the whole party.
that is true. Should we just take it on foot and then swim where we gotta swim and walk where we have to walk? Either way, like if whether we get a boat or some sort of mount, we're gonna have to leave it somewhere because it looks like we're gonna be moving back and forth between land and water. So
Unless we had like two canoes that are usually light, but then depending on the forest, might be a pain in the ass to carry through.
yeah, might just be the easiest option. Might take a little longer, but it might be the easiest option just to walk.
I mean, it seems like the best way to go rather than have to deal with only being able to use mounts or boats for a portion of the journey, or perhaps we use a boat to get past the worst of the water bit, but we hoof anything that's on foot, you know?
Yeah. No, I'm fine with that. So I guess we walk. We're hacking it.
Okay, so as you guys kind of make your way out of the Hall of Cord and into the town square, the hustle bustle of the city is kind of all around you guys, but you have a good sense of direction and have checked out the large map that you've got from Pixel. So you guys find your way outside the city pretty quickly, and what little high ground there is around the city quickly turns to a mushy, marshy kind of environment. There are mosquitoes and buzzing insects all along, and some portions of this mucky kind of terrain are only ankle deep, or maybe a little more than wet grass sloshes under your boot. But at other times, you find yourself holding your gear above your head as you take a treacherous step or two through this all too calm but definitely deep water. And you guys kind of make your way through this kind of jungly swamp around the circumference of this volcano, kind of making way towards the other side of it. And at that point, I'm going to need everybody. Let's see here. Well, it's not a very high DC, but it could be missed. Let's see. Everybody give me some perception checks as you kind of trudge your way through the swamp.
6 for Blade.
I beat that
21 for Locris.
with a 7.
Natural 1 for Logos.
I rolled a 2 for an 8.
High five, guys.
It's literally the lowest Logus has ever rolled on perception.
So, Locris, you're remaining vigilant. Maybe just more aware of your surroundings. Maybe it's because you're kind of in the middle of the pack as the marching order is kind of going through this swamp, and all the insects that are like biting types like mosquitoes seem to be harassing your friends, so much so that they're not very aware of their surroundings as they swat various bugs and complain about the heat and the wet slick muck you guys are constantly dredging through. But Locris, you notice as you guys are kind of making your way through this very kind of dense foliagey wet environment, off to the left, just a bit, looks to be a fairly large, like, clearing. It looks like not a clearing so much as like a meadow, perhaps. A large area where there doesn't seem to be a lot of trees or dense brush. And as you kind of look over that way, you hear something before you see something. You hear a cry. And as you focus in and kind of have to ignore your grumbling companions and the sucking of boots in the mud, it sounds like a child, a baby, crying off in the distance, and you can barely hear it before the grumbling of your comrades and the sucking of boots kind of overtake the noise. But briefly, you're sure of it.
Locris will just say like, "Hey guys, I know I can hear your whining. Swear I just heard a baby whining off that way. Open clearing, could be a trap."
Nope. No. What? Why would there be a crying baby this far out in the woods? That is creepy as shit.
That is a fair point. Given everything that we've been through and kind of the weird dark turns that we've gone down, something just doesn't seem right about this. But that being said, I think we'd be a little remiss if we didn't at least inspect the sound of a potential child in danger. I mean, after
Maybe one of you sneaky tops can stealth up there and take a look around. I'm not exactly quiet. I mean, I love this armor, but they're gonna hear me coming from a mile away.
What do you say, Cap? How about me and you move up a little
all
bit and
the
take a look while we leave the
knights.
big guy?
Well, it seems like a safe bet. Before we move on, I think it's probably best that we discuss who here still has rings. I know that a couple of them have been lost, and so we want to make sure that at least when the party separates, we've got communication between however many people wander off. I've still got mine.
Yeah,
Lucas puts his hands up and he does. I lost mine in the stupid game.
Blade will
Yeah.
be like, "I've got mine," and then like pull his hand out and look, and then it's gone, and then he's gonna just turn and look at Gladier.
Shade.
Yeah, mine's gone as well. Lokers, do you still have yours?
Yes.
All right, so I guess Lokers stays with us, me and Blade, and Logus and Renwick. I guess you guys sneak up ahead. At least that mean we got two groups that will have rings.
All right. Just wanted to make sure we wouldn't lose touch if we split up. And he'll kind of just like elbow Logus and be like, "Well, come on, let's see what this is about." And I'd imagine like we're gonna take a wide berth and kind of stay as much as we can in the brush and the tree line and whatnot. Maybe kind of circling around, see if we can't get a visual on what's going on.
Okay, I'll need both of you to give me a stealth check and follow that by a perception check.
Locris is going to elbow Glader in the side. That means now if we go into a town, people are going to think me and Renwick are married.
I mean, possibly, but that just makes it so much better. That actually makes it worth it. That makes it worth getting stabbed.
23 stealth and 29 perception for Logus.
Damn!
So 17 stealth and another 8 perception. I'm staring down at this crossbow. I just can't take my eyes off of it. Which, by the way, I meant to ask: is there anything special about that crossbow, or is it just an ornate hand crossbow?
+1 hand crossbow, and I assume you fiddled with it enough. You'll probably be trying to attune to it here or there, but it is a +1 hand crossbow, and it has 2 charges per long rest. You may expend a charge to swap the damage from piercing to radiant prior to firing.
Okay, so twice a day I can change the damage from piercing to radiant. I just have to call the shot before I take it.
Correct.
Heard.
That being said, so Logos, as you're kind of making your way through this swampland, making to stick to, Renwick kind of lays out a good plan of like, all right, we're gonna be stealthy and come around the outskirts, and you are just far more effective at executing Renwick's plan than he is. He stumbles over a submerged root and splashes a bit, and then doesn't seem to quite have the same focus as you, as he seems to be getting swarmed by small mosquitoes or other insects. But as you kind of look on, you see, sticking to the outskirts of this kind of meadow, the grass looks very like wet and squishy, and it's almost as if like a river is running through it, this like grassy meadow, but it's not really like a river running through. It's like standing water, but it is clear and deep, whereas most of the water you have kind of encountered at this point is kind of like a mucky swampland. But it seems in this meadow, around all of this like lush green grass, there is like a strip or two of like standing water, and kind of in the center of this meadow you see looks like several stones kind of stacked upon one another to kind of make like a small like table or like a shelf altar of some kind, and sitting upon that is what looks to be a small parcel swathed in leather, and this leather parcel, as you kind of take a gaze in deep into it, it begins to cry. You hear what appears to be the sound of an infant crying out. Wah, wah, just kind of wailing as infants tend to do off in the center of this field, sitting on this small pile of rocks.
You said I saw one more. What was it?
So in the center of this meadow, from the foliage, there is a small pile of stones, upon which is a leather-wrapped parcel, and it seems to be crying like an infant or a baby.
Oh, okay. I thought I heard partial. I was like, wait a minute. So Logos will wait for the captain to catch up, and Captain, it seems that whatever noise, whatever that crying is coming from that parcel on that rocks over there, doesn't seem to be a real baby.
And about how far away from it are we?
You said you kept a good distance, so it's a decent bit away. Here, let's see, probably ballpark it at like 60, maybe 70 feet from the center of this, clearing to the like forested area you guys are kind of in right now.
Well, what do you want to do, buddy? I'm getting a bad vibe about this, but at the same time, if it really is a kid, oh, I'd have a bit of a moral dilemma just leaving it out here to fend for itself in the wild.
Right. Do you think the baby is inside the package? I mean, that's pretty fucked up if it is.
I mean, it's pretty fucked up to leave a baby out in the forest by itself to begin with, so whoever did that, it's probably not really that far past them to leave it in a parcel. But at the same time, it's got trap written all over it, and that just makes me weary.
At this
20
moment, when you guys are kind of talking about it, looking at it, this little pile of stones next to this, in this field that's kind of mushy with the standing water, something happens right before your very eyes, and it comes as a shock at first, but it happens so quickly you're just kind of more curious. The wailing baby does kind of settle down, it seems, and out of the water pop a pair of bullywugs. They look very nervous, and behind them, they each carry another bullywug, bound and gagged. And each one of these bullywugs leaves one of this, the bullywug that it carried next to this pile of stones, and looking both ways, looking very concerned and nervous. Both bullywugs then dive back into the water and swim off almost as quickly as they appeared. However, two bound and gagged bullywugs now struggle next to this thing of stones, and the baby's wail does slowly return, cry throughout the forest, and you guys realize that everything gets pretty quiet all of a sudden. The chirping of the birds, the buzzing of the insects, lots of silence kind of overtakes the area, and all you can hear is a crying baby at the center of this meadow.
I feel like when Renwick sees these bullywugs, he just looks at Logos and he goes, well, I guess there's our answer. There's no need for us to help them. Fuck those things. As you see him have Vietnam flashbacks to camp, or like the first part of the campaign.
Well, why would bullywugs leave other bullywugs there almost defenseless in front of this thing? I'm curious to see what happens. And Logos will kind of settle in and just keep watching and then see if anything's taking point on the fact that everything got quiet. Usually when the animals stop moving like that, it means that there's a predator nearby. It doesn't hurt to stay put and see what happens to these bullywugs that were left.
That's a fair point, but it makes me weary. I mean, if these things are actively needing to offer some sort of sacrifice to whatever this creature might be, it makes me wonder if it's worth us getting tied up in. I mean, we've got a pretty clear objective, and we've got no ties to these fucking frogs.
Yeah, but it also doesn't hurt to see what comes out, because we're also traversing the woods, and whatever this thing may be may not be the only one. And if we can get some information on what it is, at least that is also beneficial to us.
Well, that's a fair point. Should we have the party move up to us? I don't want to be too separated in case this, or whatever this fucking thing that's getting this sacrifice ends up being a bit more than you and I can handle.
As long as we stay quiet, I don't think we have a problem. If the crying didn't stop until those bullywugs were left, and if they had noticed us, I'm pretty sure something would have happened already. And we run a risk with big boy over there clinking, clanking his way over here. Will alert whatever is about to happen.
Well, that's a fair point. Then I guess we hunker down and watch.
We'll watch. We see anything weird happen, we take off back to the group. Any kind of aggression towards us, we take off back to the group. For now, we just stay put and see what happens.
Well, after some time, it seems that just the wailing of the child echoes through the jungle, and it starts slow at first, but becomes deafening. Not only around Logos and Renwick as they're a little bit closer, but around the party who's a bit farther back as well. And what begins as a slow tapping off in the distance seems to become a deafening roar of drums. Boom, 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 boom. And the sounds seem to be coming from, all around. And as you guys kind of look about into you realize that around this meadow, many bullywugs are currently either making their way or are already in the trees. And many of these bullywugs have brought with them a single banging drum. And it looks to be what is probably hundreds of bullywugs in the trees surrounding this meadow. And at least half of them are banging a drum in unison. Bum 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 bum. And a cacophony of bwap 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 just kind of echoes throughout the jungle as they beat their drums. Boom 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 boom. And this continues for several minutes. What does the party do from here?
I'd imagine Renwick has loaded his new crossbow and is just constantly keeping his tentacle hand on the the handle of his blade, not drawing it, but he is super on edge given his history with these creatures.
Are the bullywugs coming around where me and Renwick are posted at, or is it on the other side of the meadow?
They seem to surround the entire meadow, but they give you and Renwick a wide berth. None of them try to enter any of the trees in your general vicinity. But yeah, they're aside from giving you 40 or 50 feet of your own space, they've pretty much taken over everything around you.
Does it seem like they're giving us that space because they know we're there, even with pretty decent stealth?
Give me an insight check.
That is the third 2 that I've rolled this evening for a 2.
No, I'm rolling right now.
You have no idea if they notice.
Renwick looks over and he's like, they're plotting something. I can feel it in my bones.
Can feel it in my biscuits. It's a 14 insight.
They don't see you.
So they don't see me, but they might see Renwick?
Yeah.
Oh, shit. Captain, I'm pretty sure the bullywugs know you're here. Might be time to retreat.
Well, that's just fucking great. What are the odds that we could kill one and I could have you skin it again? I'd give anything to have my bullywug suit right now. And he's just like, the blade is like 2 inches out of its its holster at this point. Like he's just so on edge, surrounded by these things, and now he knows they see him.
How many of them did you say there were?
Hundreds.
Captain, you might want to send a message back to the group. If we do move now, we're more than likely bringing a party with us.
Then Renwick will fidget with his ring and send back to Blade. Just be like, alert the party. This clearing, there's some sort of offering taking place. There's hundreds of them. Those filthy fucking creatures. The bullywugs, they're everywhere. They're drumming. It's some sort of sacrifice. And we've been seen. And then he's just gonna slowly start backing away, but keeping his eye toward the meadow to make his way toward the party.
Blade will relay that info to Locris because he doesn't have a ring.
All right, boys. They might be coming back with company, so get ready. Maybe duck down behind a tree so that they don't see us.
For the record, if somebody uses their ring on you, you can reply. It's like a 10-minute telepathic link. So even if you don't have the ring, you can still reply to somebody who sent you something. You just can't send anything yourself.
I didn't think you could even hear it or anything.
I thought Locris had the ring.
He's got a ring, but I sent it to Blade. Since Blade didn't have one, I basically gave Blade 10 minutes of telepathy.
Okay.
I thought it was ring-to-ring communication. It has to be somebody with a ring.
Oh, it is ring to ring? Oh, I don't think I took that down right when I copied the item, then. That's on me.
Well, Sean, is it ring to ring, or can Renwick send it to a person without a ring?
Only works with others of the ring, having the ring attuned.
Okay, that was my misunderstanding then. Can we retcon that and just say that I sent that same exact message to Loker since he has his ring?
Oh, for sure. I didn't even catch that. I forgot who lost their rings already. For sure, yeah. So you guys all kind of know what's going on at this point. Obviously, not only because Renwick hit you with a little bit of intel, but you guys notice too that the drumming is not, subtle. It's quite loud, and it looks like perhaps surrounding this whole meadow, there's tons of bullywugs. They seem to give you guys a wide girth, but yeah, it's not something subtle. You can, even from your distance, you see dozens upon dozens of bullywugs in many, many trees.
With that insight, do I get the feeling that they're hostile towards us, or are they just giving us that berth because they don't really care that we're there?
Give me another insight check.
$11 total.
They for the most part haven't seemed too threatening, as you kind of eyeball them. Some of them look to be carrying like these drums, obviously homemade. Others look to be just along for the spectacle, but you do notice that, about 1 in every 3 of them is actually armed. Most of this gathering is not armed, apparently.
Well, as Renwick starts backing up, I'm gonna say, "Hold on, Captain. They know we're here, yet they're not acting aggressive towards us. It might be worth just seeing what happens."
Do you have any recollection of what happened the last time we ran in with these things?
They don't give a flying fuck about us. If they're keeping that much of a wide berth, we might be standing right in the path of whatever's coming for this offering.
Maybe the baby is the monster. You ever think about that? I mean, we don't. It's gonna happen.
Then how does that make it any better?
Because then we're not in the path of it. We can just stay and watch.
Well, this is making me rather weary. If you want to stay and watch, you stay and watch, and I'll put myself between you and the party so that you're not entirely alone. But this makes me uncomfortable.
It might be worth something to tell Blade to put that hut up and make it a safe point where we can hide. Because if it comes down to it, we have to fight hundreds of bullywugs. There's no possible way we're going to win that battle.
Yeah, I definitely.
Well, I suppose let me consult Locris then, because I still have him for approximately 8 minutes. And he'll just radio Locris on the ring and kind of give him the update on the situation and be like, what do you guys think? Do you want us to keep eyes on this, or do you want us to come back and regroup?
I think if we wait for it to come out, it's going to probably lead to us fighting. Either we get moving while the bullywugs are here, or hell, who knows, maybe if we kill whatever this creature is, the bullywugs will like us and help us pass through this swamp instead of hindering us.
So as they're talking, Logos would just keep eyes on whatever's happening, because I mean he doesn't know what the conversation's going. So because Logos is very curious.
I have an idea, but it might backfire. How risky are you guys feeling tonight?
Like
I mean, it's been
us players or the characters?
Kind of both.
Locust is
I
going
could
here.
potentially attempt to communicate with these things and see if I can get us more information. But that is at great risk.
Well, I think if I mention to Glader that there's a baby in a field being sacrificed, he's charging the field.
Yes, and technically Glader doesn't know this yet. So Glader's just sitting there, like, what, looking around. I mean, his hand's on his sword right now, but he's kind of just observing, listening to the music.
The fucking armor is just so shiny, you know. And bugs don't even try to bite you because you're it's like covered in armor. It's sweet. You know?
I just look fine as fuck.
Yeah, so knowing that, Locris ain't saying shit.
Fair enough. All right. So, how far is the closest, like, cluster of bullywugs to us? You said they were giving us like a 50-foot kind of wide berth.
Yeah, they're not close. They're probably 10 feet in the air, probably 50 feet away.
Okay.
they're 10 feet in the air. They're flying.
They're sticking to the tree tops. They're staying in the canopy of the trees as they're kind of watch this event unfold.
So, Renwick is going to sheath his blade, and he's going to just take a knee for a minute and kind of close his eyes and just concentrate really hard. And internally, I think he's kind of reaching out to this entity that he knows is using him as his eyes and his ears. And he's going to attempt to basically kind of garner some power from the Kraken And I think internally he just kind of reaches out and he's like, you're a timeless, omniscient, omnipotent being. Surely you could help me communicate with these creatures. And as your eyes and ears, well, it's easier to do your bidding if I have access to those powers. And then he's going to cast Comprehend Languages and put his hands kind of, not a full surrender, but like a, hey, like come in peace. And he's going to try to make his way toward the closest group of bullywugs.
Okay, read me the language of the spell, if you wouldn't mind.
For the duration, you understand the literal meaning of any spoken language that you hear. You also understand any written language that you see, but you must be touching the surface on which the words are written. It takes about a minute to read one page of text. This spell doesn't decode secret messages in a text or a glyph, such as an arcane sigil that isn't part of a written language. But basically, I understand any spoken language for 1 hour.
Okay, yeah, for sure. And as you kind of come close to these trees that are now containing many, many bullywugs sprawled out on the branches, the drum beat continues, boom, 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 boom. But what was once kind of gibberish to you, just noise, really, just a bwop, 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 eventually kind of turns into and warps into some form of speech. And it seems like most of this crowd of bullywugs is crying out in the same phrase. And it is, feed the big one, feed the big one, feed the big one, over and over and over.
And I'd imagine he just grabs the, like the one that's furthest off to the side and approaches it and is just like, pardon me, I'm all for feeding the big one, but could you perhaps remind me exactly why it is we feed the big one and what the big one is? And I'd imagine it comes out with like that bob, 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 bob.
Logus just tripping balls here in Renwick, just plop, plop, fucking talking to a bullywug.
Go ahead and give me a persuasion check, Renwick, with disadvantage, unfortunately.
That seems pretty reasonable.
While he's doing that, how far are the bullywugs away from the baby? And is anything happening with the baby? Is it still crying?
The baby has continued to cry, and the bullywugs that have been bound and placed next to this little cluster of stones that the baby's placed on are struggling profusely, but they are not they have not escaped their bonds or anything.
It's a 14 with disadvantage.
Ooh, okay. With that, the bullywug kind of looks at you, looks you up and down, and kind of shrugs, points to the offering, and just kind of goes back to chanting, "Feed the big one, feed the big one." Just kind of generally ignoring you.
Did he point to the baby or to the bound bullywug?
One and the same. They're all kind of off in the distance. This is happening in the tree line, so this is at least 60 feet away or so from the center of this meadow. As you guys kind of watch on, the drumming becomes more louder, and their chants of the bawap 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 kind of form, and instead of kind of random and loose, they all kind of come together in harmony, and in unison. Feed the big one, boom 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 boom, as the drums just kind of bang on. Logos, you see swiftly something dart up out of the water, and it looks to be like an eye stalk. It looks like a sinewy, fleshy green eye stalk, and upon it are 3 eyeballs, and they all kind of look around independently and blink, and then resubmerge. and very, very slowly, like a blackish green tentacle, slowly comes up from the water and grabs one of the bullywogs. And as soon as it touches one of the bullywogs, it snatches it up and rips it underwater quickly. Skadoosh! And as it does so, a wide echoing cheer from all of the bullywogs around the meadow. They all clap and hoot and holler. Some of them throw their drums. Some of them are hugging. Some of them are high-fiving. Like, it seems to be some kind of a big deal. And slowly, yet another tentacle creeps out of the water towards the remaining bullywog. And as it slowly touches him, it reacts quickly and squibloosh takes him into the water as well. And to more cheers and some of the bullywogs cheering and laughing and hooting and hollering so hard that they're actually falling out of the trees, breaking sticks, kind of concussing themselves. They are like in a wild frenzy of like ecstasy almost as the tentacle emerges a third time and slowly makes its way over to the crying child.
I think in that moment, seeing that the baby is just an actual baby, Logus is gonna yell back to Renwick, I think it's time to get the party over here. And he's gonna cast a moonbeam on the big tentacle thing.
Then Renwick will immediately radio the party and just be like, "Go! Get here now!"
Moonbeam is a silvery beam of pale light, shines down in a 5-foot radius, 40-foot high cylinder at a point within range, 120 feet. When a creature enters a spell for the first time, it makes a con save, and it takes 2d10 radiant damage on a failed save or half as much on a successful one. A shape changer makes its saving throw a disadvantage. If it fails, it also instantly reverts to its original form and can assume a different form till it leaves the spell's light. On each of your turns after you cast a spell, you can use an action to move the beam to 60 feet in any direction. So every time it starts a turn, enters it for the first time, takes 2d10 radiant damage.
Okay, and you need a con save from me right away then?
Yeah, as soon as the beam touches it.
That'll be 17 on that.
Yeah, it fails. I mean, it saves. And that's actually 3d10 because it's a third level spell.
Okay,
You
so
wanna say
is it like
2d10?
half damage
So-
on 2d10 or whatever? Or on a failed
Yeah.
save, I mean? Or successful save?
So it's 21, 10 points of radiant damage to it, and the beam stays there just on it. Yeah.
Okay. Let me write this down real quick. And so, all right. And what was the damage total? One more time. Sorry.
It was 21 total, half to 10.
Okay, yeah. As you cast this beam, this moonbeam spell, and it targets your enemy, you blast this tentacle, and it shirks back into the water quickly, just before grasping this leather-bound parcel containing a child, and it bursts out immediately. Jumping out of the water, you see a massive frog-like creature, tentacles, green, this large eye stalk, thick, powerful legs stomp the ground. It is massive. It is a huge creature, almost as big, perhaps even a bit bigger than the fire giants you guys had fought before. Everybody go ahead and roll initiative.
As we were running up, Locris would have activated the poison on his weapon.
Okay, great.
I rolled a natural fucking 20 for initiative. for a 21.
Dirty 20.
Hey,
I
man.
also got a dirty 20.
Oh, shit.
Much lower modifier.
8 for Blade.
What the fuck is that? Jesus Christ.
I wrote absolute garbage for my initiative. I have a +9 and got 13 total.
Shit, I have to figure out what I'm doing now. I've never gone so early in initiative. I've always had time to think.
You're up, kid.
Smash and bash.
Okay, just taking out some initiative. Give me just a second. We'll start this out. Sorry about the glare. So, there is Renwick kind of halfway between the party and Logos. Logos is off to the left. Ahead of you, where the stone is where the pile of stones containing the baby on top resides. And the froghemoth stands in this pool of water, kind of just behind it, glaring menacingly at Logos. That being said, top of the round is Gladier. You're up. No Eyes the Dragon coming through.
Oh, shit. I'm red, right?
Correct. There, you're currently standing in like this really squishy, kind of slippery grass. But there is a pile, a stretch of standing water between you and this behemoth.
Oh, man. Yeah, we are far. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so move the um all right. I'm going to first I'm gonna burn my movement and my action to get as close as possible to this froghemoth. So that's a total of 60 feet. Just moving as close as I can get.
So the water is going to count as difficult terrain, even though you're only moving 15 feet across. It's gonna hit you for 30 feet of movement. So, give me just a sec. You got 60 total.
60 total with a movement and action dash.
Okay, yeah. With a dead run, you get damn close to this pile of stones with the child on top, but not quite all the way. You're about 5 feet away from the pile of stones.
Okay. Now that I'm there, can I tell that there's a baby on top of this pile of stones? Because I never actually saw it yet.
Give me a perception check.
Not good. It's a 10.
With a 10, it is a parcel that looks to be swathed like a baby, but you don't actually see like flesh or a crying baby or anything. You just see like a leather swaddle of what appears the commoners here would swaddle their children like that. You can imagine.
Is it no longer crying?
It is no longer crying.
Alright, then I'm not going to do that. Because if I can't tell it's a baby, I'm not going to do that. Okay, I'm going to bonus action. Bonus action, branding smite, I guess, on myself. So the next time I hit a creature with weapon attack before the spell ends, which is 1 minute, it is concentration. I just get an extra 2d6 radiant damage, and if they're invisible, they become visible, shed a dim light, stuff like that. But I'm just going to cast that on myself.
Okay, yeah. As you kind of just barrel through the wet grass and swim like effortlessly just through this little channel, you sprint your way towards this giant beast and cast your spell upon getting close. That being said, moving on down, Renwick, you are up. You just watch Gladiator tear ass through this field and splash through a water channel on his way towards this froghemoth.
Did he get within melee range?
He did not, unfortunately. Close.
No worries. Just making sure. So Renwick is going to. All right. Fuck it. I'm a water-based warlock for a reason, so let's have some fun here. Renwick's gonna dive into the water, ironically increasing his movement speed to 40 feet in water. And he's basically going to go diagonally, I guess, northeast, kind of following that channel. And he'll get, like, along the shoreline, but he's going to stay kind of submerged in the water since he's so small. And then he's going to, kind of as he's swimming through the water, his tentacle hand reaches out, and all of a sudden, right by this creature, a tentacle rips up out of the ground and begins to lash out at this creature, and he's going to cast, or I guess use his ability, Tentacle of the Deep. So basically, it's kind of like, oh god, what is it? Is it Sacred Weapon or whatever, where you summon for a bonus action, you can summon an entity essentially to fight for you as a bonus action on each of your turns. So there is now a tentacle on the field that is lashing out at this creature.
Okay, and it stays permanent. Can you read me the language of the spell real quick?
Yep, I'm pulling it up right now. Magically summon a spectral tentacle that strikes out at your foes. As a bonus action, you create a 10-foot long tentacle at a point you can see within 60 feet of you. The tentacle lasts for 1 minute, or until you use this feature to create another tentacle. When you create the tentacle, you can make a melee attack against one creature within 10 feet of it. On a hit, the target takes 1d8 cold damage, and its speed is reduced by 10 feet until the start of your next turn. And as a bonus action on each of my turns, I can use the tentacle, or I can move the tentacle up to 30 feet and attack again. And yeah. So.
Okay, nice. For sure.
Bam. Bonus action. Tentacle. That's going to be... Sorry, I'm trying to do everything on my computer right now. Plus 6. Cool. That's a 23 to hit with a tentacle.
Oh, that hits.
Sick. That's going to be 1d8 Plus 3. Oh, damn. 10 damage with the tentacle, and then he's going to take a shot with his hand crossbow. Was I able to get within 30 or so feet while staying on the shoreline? If not, I'll just take the shot with disadvantage.
35 feet is the distance.
I'm sorry, say that again?
I got you currently 35 feet away from the Froghemoth.
I'm sorry, how many feet? I was breaking up a little bit there.
Sorry, you are 35 feet away from the Froghemoth.
Son of a bitch. Alright, well, still going to take that shot with disadvantage then. But fancy new crossbow, so we'll see what happens. But I rolled a nat 1, but I reroll 1, so alright, let's see here. Alright, 15 hit?
It does hit.
Okay, sick. Alright. I don't believe that is sneak attack. Because nobody's in melee range with it, unless you count the tentacle. Which I don't think counts. And I'm assuming this creature has seen me at this point.
Oh yeah, hard to shoot it and then not get seen.
Fair point. Yeah, yeah. Let's see. 1d6 plus 6. For 10 damage, so 20 damage.
Okay, yeah, and you bury a bolt deep within this thing. It just kind of absorbs into the blubber somehow. Like you don't actually, you know it landed true, but you don't see it like protruding from the creature, gushing blood or anything. It just kind of gets absorbed in this thing's rubbery folds. Anything else?
No, I believe that was full movement, bonus action, and action.
Okay. That's Locris, you're up.
All right. Locris is going to charge as much of the 30 feet as he can get, knowing he's going into rough terrain. And then is going to cast Phantasmal Killer on the frog. So I need
Okay.
a wisdom saving throw from you, DC 16.
I'm looking at 21 total.
Of course you are. That's it?
Oh, no save side effects or anything?
No, because it does a lot of shit if it hits. Thinking the frog might be stupid.
It's possible. So that kind of gets you towards like almost all the way across. You're coming up, you're still in the water technically, but maybe like ankle deep. Anything else, or is that it?
That's all I have.
Okay, well, after Locris, it is the Froghemoth, who conveniently has Gladier right there in front of him. After being attacked, kind of glaring over at Logos, Gladier kind of runs forth, and we'll see how this works out here for you, Gladier. Let's see, tongue attack. This is probably this is where I kill your buddy here. All right. Gladier, does a 25 hit?
Shit. Yeah, that hits.
I need you to give me a strength saving throw. This creature doesn't like throw a tentacle or anything. It opens its massive toothy maw and a tongue shoots out quickly and a sticky, like a spiky, slimy kind of tentacle emerges from its mouth and just bashes into Gladier.
Oh. It's a natural 20 for a 27. That's 2 nat 20s. Good.
So as it tries to rip you off your feet and kind of pull you in for maybe a chomp, it does not seem to have the strength, and the tongue just kind of slowly rips off of you. But you notice that this sticky substance and spiny tongue kind of have left their mark on you. You do take 20 points of bludgeoning damage.
Damn. Okay. I'm gonna use a reaction and burn one of my charges on my shield to have to get resistance until my next turn for bludgeoning.
Okay.
So it's 10 points of bludgeoning damage.
Gladier does a 23 hit.
23 also hits.
Okay, so after the tongue does not work, a wild tentacle comes screaming in at you, and not only does it smash into you with force, taking go ahead, it's 19 bludgeoning damage, so you could half that to 9. But as this tentacle kind of smashes into you, it does in fact grapple you. It completely surrounds you and pulls you tight. It only has 4 tentacles, but you are currently grappled by 1.
All right.
That being said, moving on down, Logos, you're up.
Has it moved at all?
No, so I believe you got. Do you need another con save, or is it just damage on the space?
No, it's as long as he's in that beam and he has to move. It's a concept.
So it is a con save then?
Yeah.
$23 on the con save.
Roll 19 damage on D&D gun, so that's half to 9 points of damage. And I'm going to fire off 2 arrows off at it using my crystal bolt fire.
Okay, yeah. Give me a couple attack rolls.
The first one is 19 to hit.
Oh, that hits.
That's 11 points of damage. And the second one is 22 to hit.
Also hits.
That's only 8 points of damage on it. So that's 11 plus 8. It's a fire damage. 19 points of fire damage.
You bury a couple of flaming arrows into its side, and it screeches and kind of moans, and it bellows so loudly that it shakes like the earth and the trees around it. Logos, go ahead and give me a perception check after you do that attack.
Oh gosh. That's 19 total perception.
Looks like the bullywug crowd is torn. Half of them are exuberantly excited to see more sacrifices offered up to the big one, but you see almost half the crowd like looks on silent with a look of dread or concern on their face. Moving on down to the bottom of the round, that is Blade. You're up.
All right. Blade is going to go ahead and he's going to use his full movement, maybe up 15 feet straight up, and then to the left 15 feet. And I think that should bring me like on the edge of the.
Correct.
And he's going to kind of take a strum of his lute, and you see these kind of silvery stream of energy just kind of go and hit the this creature, and I'm going to attempt to cast Bane on it.
Bane? Okay, what do you need from me?
So I need a charisma saving throw from you of 16.
Ah, 15.
Okay. So on your attack rolls or saving throws, before the spell ends, must take a d4 and subtract the number rolled from the attack or saving throw.
Got it.
And I think Blade is going to once again take a big strum of his lute and say to Gladier, who is grappled, Gladier, have no fear. The tentacle that is near isn't what you should fear. And I'm going to give him a little bit of inspiration. That was rough.
Perfect. Sounds good to me. Gladier, you get a bit of inspiration thrown your way just in time because, top of the round. You're up, buddy. Currently completely grappled by a large, slimy tentacle being held by this giant froghemoth, roaring in pain, but still managing to hold you in place.
All right. If I attack while grappled, that is disadvantage, correct?
No, you just can't move.
Oh, I just can't move.
It's just your speed is reduced to 0. You're all good everywhere else.
Restrained is disadvantage, I think. Right? Yeah. All right. Well, anyways. Okay. Yeah. I mean, my speed is 0, which means I'm 10 feet away. I can't get within fucking melee range. Shit.
I mean, his range is not 10 feet. The tentacles have a 20-foot reach, so you're currently touching the creature. You could absolutely attack the tentacle, but maybe not like the main body. But
Okay. Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna try and do that because I want to try and instead of
you could also
burning,
use your standard action to try to break the grapple, if you'd like.
I think would it be possible instead of burning an action to try and break the grapple, can I burn my action to try and maybe do enough damage to chop through this tentacle that is grappling me?
You can try. Go ahead and give me some attack rolls.
Oh yeah. So I'm gonna use both attacks. To try and attack this tentacle. The first one has branding smite, so that's an extra 2d6 radiant. I think it's the first time to hit. So it's not my first attack; it's the first time I hit. I'll get that 2d8 or 2d6. I'm sorry. All right. So first attack roll is a 18 to hit.
That hits for sure.
Alrighty. So that is 1d8 plus 5 damage. So that's 9 damage plus 2d6 radiant. 10. So that's 19 total damage. 10 of that is radiant.
And that was first attack.
That was my first attack. Yes. That was swing
Nicely
again.
done. You just kind of, with a burst of radiant energy, you carve into this tentacle. A big, splattering of black gunk kind of is all you get for it. But once again, the creature continues to roar in pain.
Now I'm gonna hit the tentacle again. I'm gonna chop through this bitch. Oh, that's even better. That's a 23 to hit.
Oh, that hits.
All right, so this is just a regular attack. That's a 5 plus 5. I'm gonna pump a first level divine smite into it.
Okay.
So that's 10 damage so far. Plus, I'm assuming this thing is not undead. So that's just another D8.
Definitely not undead.
Yeah. Okay. Or 2d8 for first level. It's 1d8 added every level. Sorry, it's been a while since I played a paladin.
No worries.
All right, so that is 10 plus 4. That's a 10 slashing damage, 4 radiant damage for a 14 total.
Gladier, as you come down with another burst of radiant energy, you full on cleave one of this creature's tentacles off, and you're just sprayed with this black gunk as it flails around helplessly and kind of cries out in pain. But what was grappling you falls slack immediately to the ground around your feet.
I think Gladiator growls all frustrated of this black ichor that is now spoiling his brand new armor. Then nobody else has gotten hit yet. So I mean, everyone's doing good except me. I'm gonna use a bonus action to take a basic healing potion for myself,
Okay, great.
and that'll be my turn.
Moving on down to Renwick, you're up.
Renwick is going to move toward the shore, and I imagine kind of like slow walking up out of the water, like, almost ring-like hair, and reaches out and kind of swipes his tentacle hand across the air, commanding his tentacle to smash this thing again, and that's going to be a 15 to hit.
15 hits.
Sick. Let's see. This 1d8. Sorry, I got my table back, so I'm back on regular dice. That's a 7 for 10 cold damage. And then as he gets within 30 feet, he'll take a shot with his crossbow. Or his hand crossbow.
So you're leaving the water then, making your way towards the Froghemoth?
Yeah, as long as I'm within 30 feet, he's going to try to basically hang close to the water. I think you said I was 35 feet away last turn, so if I'm, essentially on, pretty much standing at the edge of the water, whatever 30 feet from this creature would be. Because it's kind of hard to see the map a little bit.
Okay, yeah, you definitely make your way to the shore, just standing nearby the water, and for sure, yeah.
And it's a 12 with the hand crossbow.
Unfortunately, it's not even that it didn't land; it just kind of bounces off this thing's blubber.
Nope, that's totally fair. At least the tentacle's doing work. And you know what? Honestly, since I didn't use all my movement, I'm going to use the rest of my movement to back, down into the water again. He'll come out, smack it with the tentacle, get confident, shoot that crossbow, and have it just deflect off and just be like, on second thought.
Okay, yeah,
just kind of sulk back into the water.
Okay, yeah, for sure. Easily done. You know, you step back into the water. Moving on down. It is Locris. You're up.
All right. I'm going to move up just enough to be 30 feet away. And then as a bonus action, I'm going to cast Hexblade's Curse. And then I'm going to back up another 20 feet. And I'm going to fire a pair of Eldritch Blasts at it.
So do you want to be in the water or just back up 20 feet from the creature?
Whichever.
Okay, exactly 30 feet away kind of puts you roughly, you know, waist deep in this water, but you managed to get off your Eldritch Blast for sure.
Going to be a dirty 20 and a 21 to hit.
Oh yeah, they both hit for sure.
Holy shit. 2 fucking ones. So that's going to be 1 plus my proficiency. No, my charisma. 6 plus the 2. So 16 points total force damage.
16 total force damage, alright. As the dark energy kind of streaks from your hand and bashes into this froghemoth.
And that will end my turn.
Okay, moving on down in the initiative, it is back to our good buddy the froghemoth, who doesn't really appreciate getting wailed on by you guys, nor having Gladier remove one of his appendages. So, with that, Gladier, once again, a smile creeps across this creature's face, revealing its toothy maw as a quick-moving, like tentacle-like tongue comes crashing out towards you. Does an 18 hit?
That misses.
As it kind of just darts by you just barely, you duck out of the way as this, you know, slimy, spiny tongue kind of flops around on the ground near you before retracting into this creature's face. Yet again, another tentacle attack comes your way, Gladier, as you're just the easiest, most direct target. Oh, nice.
No.
I imagine a 30 hit.
Yeah.
Gladier, you take 45 bludgeoning damage as this creature's tentacle comes crashing down upon you, almost like a reflex for you cutting off its other one. And once again, you are grappled.
Okay, I'm gonna use another. I'm gonna burn another charge of steadfast, my shield, and half that, or gain resistance to bludgeoning. Because fuck that 45.
Yeah, that was a good crit. I pretty much rolled max damage too.
That was like almost exactly half of my remaining HP. 45. So yeah, I'm gonna. Will it be 27?
Yeah, we'll round down 27.
Okay, Jesus. That was a hell of a fucking hit.
And with that, this tentacled monster kind of bellows another roar, another echoing roar that seems to shake the earth all around. And some of the bullywogs look concerned. Others continue to cheer with like a sense of like euphoric team pride or team spirit. That anything else there? Oh no, that's my turn. Frog guy. So moving on down. He's not going to move or anything. He's going to stay right where his ornery ass is. And that is going to be Logos. You're up.
I'm gonna need a con save.
$19 total.
Road shit, so that's 7 points of damage, round down to 3. And then 2 attacks from my regular arrow this time.
Okay, as the moonbeam continues to sizzle into this rubbery frog flesh, you let loose a couple arrows. Give me some attack rolls.
Wow, first one's a 14 to hit.
That's barely the magic number as you land an arrow.
Wow. 11 points of damage from the first one.
All right.
28 to hit.
That hits.
8 points of damage, so 19. I think I rolled same damage from my arrows. So 19 points of damage total from both attacks.
All right, as you
Plus
lose a
the
couple of
3 from
arrows,
Moonbeam.
a couple arrows seem to find their mark, and land true. A little drizzle of black ichor kind of follows.
I'll stay put. That'll be my turn.
All right, moving on down, bringing up the bottom of the round again. Blade, you're up.
All right. Would Blade have noticed the kind of the I think you'd mentioned like some of the bullywogs were like kind of a euphoric state with this creature, but some were almost kind of having maybe not like second thoughts, but like unsure.
Yeah, you kind of look off into the crowd and you see the mixture of like excitement from some and what looks to be like fear for others as they're kind of watching this spectacle.
Gotcha. Okay. So next question: the body of water that's in front of me, is that deep enough for me to fully submerge myself if I would like to?
Yeah, you're looking at like shoulder deep or so. Like you don't have to submerge to cross, but you can.
Okay. So let me see if I can pull this off. Blade is going to go ahead and he's going to kind of get into the water. Let me see if I move up 10, 15. Yeah, if I move up like 10 feet and then over the left another 10 feet, like 20 feet, that kind of lands me in the middle.
Yeah, like kind of in the middle of the channel of water.
Yeah. Blade is going to submerge himself underneath the water and then kind of going to kind of put his hand to his chest and concentrate, and he's going to cast disguise self on himself.
Okay.
To where I did a little research, and correct me if I'm wrong, I'm going to try to make myself look like a bullywog.
Okay, yeah. I think the description of the spell lets you like either gain or lose like a foot? Is that the parameters?
Yeah, I think you can either like gain or lose a foot, and you can, I think, take the form of like a humanoid creature as long as you have like the same amount of limbs.
Yeah, I mean, the bullywogs are technically a medium humanoid, so you have no problem assuming the form of a bullywog.
Okay. So he's going to assume this bullywug form and kind of resurface, poking his two eyes out of the water.
Okay.
And in doing so, I'm going to kind of mutter to myself, and you just probably see like little bubbles coming up out of the water in front of him. I'm going to cast Healing Word as for my bonus action on Gladier.
Okay, great. How much do you heal him for? What's the word?
It's just going to come out as like Blade's trying to be convincing to the other bullywugs that he is actually a bullywug. So he's just going to kind of look around and just be like, whoa, like just kind of make it as melodic as he can, but convincing.
Oh, okay. Give me a performance check, Blade.
Performance 16.
You, bellow out, and as far as you know, you are replicating a bullywug quite well in its natural environment.
Beautiful, beautiful. So you kind of see maybe um, kind of like a silvery aura, kind of like almost kind of like fog as it kind of rests on top of water, kind of go across out and then through the grass or the swamp and then reach its way over to Gladier. Um, and that will I'm gonna cast that at fourth level. So that's gonna be Gladier. You are looking at 13 points of health.
Very nice.
Thank you.
And that will and actually, you know what? I'm gonna use the rest of my movement, um maybe just kind of maybe use the last 10 feet to move forward, maybe towards the shore, and kind of resurface.
Okay, great. You make your way towards the shore, and kind of you're still in the water, but it's between knee and ankle deep at the moment.
Perfect, and that's my turn.
All right, then moving on back to the top of the round, Gladier. Once again, this massive creature in front of you. Once again, you grappled by a massive tentacle. What do you do?
I think I'm just gonna try and chop off the tentacle again.
All right, give me a couple of attack rolls.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Oh, that is only. I think that might hit. That is a 15.
15 hits. He's got this giant blubbery hide that is kind of wrapping around you, but it hits.
All right, so 1d8 plus 5. Minutes. Oh, that's not bad. That's 11 points of damage.
Okay.
Second attack. Oh, that's not good. I think I'm going to use my inspiration on that one. That's an 8. So that is a dirty 20 to hit.
Oh, that hits.
All right. Shit, do I want to use another? Yeah, no. Yeah, just going to be a regular hit. That is another 11 points. 22 points total damage this round. Slashing.
You slash vigorously into this thing's tentacle and, spill more of this black ichor, but none of your blows seem to actually sever the limb like last time. But you're still grappled, but you're definitely causing black ichor to spill forth at an alarming rate.
All right. I think that's all I'm going to do. Yeah. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do right now.
Okay, moving on down. Renwick, you're up. This thing is currently roaring furiously and pummeling and grappling Gladier.
All right. Oh man, how do I want to do this? All right. Renwick's going to come back up out of the water, approaching the creature. I'd like to be. I'm going to say 25 feet away from it. And I'm going to smack it with the tentacle, take a shot with my hand crossbow. And since it is technically grappling Gladier, does that mean it would be considered sneak attack because he's technically in melee with Gladier?
Sounds good to me.
Fuck yeah. Alright. Here comes crossbow. Fuck! Another 2. God damn it. Alright, fucking tentacle.
The blubber's hard to get through. It bounces off. Once
22
again.
on the tentacle.
Very nice. That hits.
I've rolled. That's either my 4th or 5th nat 2 that I've rolled tonight. So, fuck's sake. But max damage, so 11 points of cold damage with that tentacle. And he'll just call out and be like, Gladier, are you doing okay up there? It looks like you've got everything under control. Just like, kind of like weary about getting too close.
Right. How much did you say? I mean, I had you at 25 feet. I think you said to be within 25 feet of it or something.
Yeah, 25 feet away from it.
That's what I thought. Just make sure. Okay. Anything else, Renwick? Is that it?
No, missed my attack, hit the bonus, and used my move. I think that's good.
Okay, Locris, you are up.
All right. Lucas is going to just take 2 more shots with Eldritch Blast.
All right, give me some attack rolls.
Going to be a 25
Oh, that
and
hits.
a 22.
Oh, both hit for sure.
You 2 failed me last time. Let's try these one. All right, that's better. 8 plus 7 is 15. 4 plus 7 is 11. 11 plus 15. 26 points of force damage. And that will end my turn.
Yeah, a couple of dark eldritch beams just kind of crash into the thick blubber of this creature, and not only do they sear flesh, but it seems that a loud thud and maybe a snap up underneath some of this large, bulbous, rubbery skin. You definitely did some damage, and you notice that it kind of turns its attention towards you.
Then he'll step back another 20 feet.
Okay, yeah, you want to move back 20. You're currently in the water, so it'll be difficult terrain, but you can use your movement to back up more.
Yeah, if he's looking at me, I'm backing up as far as I can.
Okay, you swim to the other side of the channel of water that you were on, now standing on the opposite shore. All right, and then that will be the frog Hemoth, I do believe. Okay, with a slight shift here. Give me a second.
Oh, it's on the move. Run, Lucas, run.
Okay, it does move about 20 feet. Straight up towards it's now blubbery mass is within melee of Renwick, and while maintaining a grapple on Gladier, this thing once again opens its massive maw and shoots forth its slimy, spiny tongue towards you, Renwick.
And it will do so with disadvantage.
And Bane, too.
And also Bane.
Okay. So with disadvantage, it still comes out to 21. Let's see. How about the Bane? So, would a 17 hit you?
That is a miss.
As this a spiny, sticky tongue kind of clambers by you, it retracts just as quickly as it struck, and another tentacle seems to come crashing down around you. Oh, hey, it's my turn to roll a 2. with a 2, I don't have to enact Blade's Bane curse. The flailing tentacle just pummels the ground around your feet, but does not seem to find any purchase.
Sick.
That being said, moves on down to Logos. You're up. It did, however, move out of your moonbeam, just so you're aware.
Well, I'm gonna use my action to move it back on it.
Okay.
And I don't know, because I think it doesn't take any damage right now, right? It's not until it starts its turn there.
I was doing the damage at the top of your turn, so I guess if you had to move it, that would kind of miss the damage, yeah.
It says when a creature enters the spell area for the first time on a turn, so that would be this turn. Or starts its turn there.
And you can move it with a bonus action or something like that?
No, it's a full action to move it. On
Yeah.
each turn,
If it's
you can use an action to move the beam.
I'd say if it's a full action to move the spell, then it probably does damage that round.
Okay, then. It's another concept.
Uh, 26 for the con save.
Jesus. That's 27 total, so 13 points damage.
Okay, yeah, the moonbeam continues to sizzle and boil and fester on this rubbery flesh.
And that's my turn.
All right, moving on down from Logos. Blade, you are up once again.
Okay. All right, so I'm fairly close to this thing. I don't want to get much closer, so I think I'm just going to kind of stay in the water, kind of wade in the water for now. Blade is going to kind of murmur a little, kind of like, again, trying to be convincing to all the other bullywugs watching. He's going to go kind of look around and then point at the behemoth here and go just like whoa 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 whoa, like acting like he's going up one side and down the other with him, and he's going to cast Vicious Mockery.
Okay, yeah. Give me both a performance check and what do you need for Vicious Mockery? A wisdom save?
Yep, you got it. Of 16. Uh, 21 for performance.
17 for the save.
That passes.
You manage to muster quite the performance. You sell being a bullywog quite well as you muster these arcane words, but they don't seem to have the desired effect.
Seeming frustrated, Blade is going to kind of just go whoop 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 whoop, and you kind of once again see a silvery kind of mist go, on over the water and kind of towards Gladier, and it's going to surround him and once again give him inspiration.
Very nice.
And that'll end it.
Just in time, Gladier, some inspiring feelings, words, and thoughts hit you as you find yourself grappled, and it is at the top of the round. You are still being held in place by one of these rubbery tentacles.
I'ma fucking hit it with my sword.
Give me some attack rolls.
That's a nat 1 for the first attack. Ew. That's a miss, but I'll take us another swing.
Oh yeah, that's a miss for sure. You kind of just bounce off the blubber, not effectively striking it at all.
That one is better. That's a 26.
That hits.
Alright. That's a 8. That's 9 points of damage. Is his tentacle still whole?
It does. As you slash forth, more of this black ichor seems to splash about, but the tentacle still remains structurally sound for the time being.
Renwick, you got hit, right? Renwick got hit last round?
No, I dodged both.
Renwick got attacked, but he's a sneaky little fucker and he's hard to hit.
Okay. Um. Fuck it. Yeah, I'm gonna do. Actually, no. Never mind. I'm not gonna do that. Yeah, that's gonna be my turn.
Alright, moving on down. Renwick, you are up. This thing has currently moved much closer to you and is, flailing about its tongue and its tentacles trying to snatch at you. Unsuccessfully so far.
As this thing moves closer, I think he's just gonna steer into the skid, and I imagine his tentacle wraps around his rapier, and he draws it, and just looks up at the thing, and just says, "May the best tentacle win," and he'll run up and take a slice. I guess I'm gonna try. Can I swing at the tentacle that's grappled Gladier and try to finish cutting it off?
You'll have to move to get to there, but yes, you could do that.
Okay, I would like to do that. So let's see. The rapier. Fuck me, a 3 for a fucking 12.
That's nice.
Yep. Alright, Tentacle's gonna have to take a backseat. Bonus action, hand crossbow. That's gonna be a 17 to hit.
That'll hit.
And since Gladier's within melee range, that it's sneak attack, I believe. So that'll be 5d6. 29 damage with the hand crossbow.
Oh, damn. You for sure finish what Gladier had started and sever this tentacle from his grasp.
Yeah, I imagine I took the swing with the rapier and missed, and he's like, "Oh, for fuck's sake!" And just out of pure frustration, like fires the hand crossbow, and it actually just pops the whole tentacle off. And he's like, "Oh, well, all right then."
Oh yeah, it's like flailing about and spraying you and Gladier with this black ichor, but you successfully free him from the grapple.
And if I have any remaining movement, I'll just use it to step away. If I've attacked a creature, it does not incur attacks of opportunity.
Okay, yeah, you can take you got 10 feet of movement. You want to move back away from it?
Yeah. I'll just like kind of jump back 10 feet and get ready for next round.
Alrighty, moving on down, and is Locris standing safely on the other bank.
All right, Locris is going to take another 30 feet down left. Still keeping a good distance. 2 more shots of Eldritch Blast.
Alright, give me some attack rolls.
So that'll be a 15
Hits.
and a 22.
Both hit for sure.
All right. Five plus 7 is 12. 6 plus 7 is 13. 25 points of force damage.
Very nice. Once again, some of this dark energy kind of just pummels this creature, sending squirts of black ichor in different directions this time. This creature looks worse for the wear. It's howling and whimpering. It's developed a limp. It's missing 2 of its 4 tentacles. It's in rough shape.
And that will end my turn.
All right, moving on down. This wounded froghemoth just blasting this black ichor from multiple tentacles as well as several wounds. Both Locris and Logos had helped with some of the ranged attacks, and he moves forward, coming within range of. It just takes a 5-10 step, 5-10 feet of movement forward. And let's see here. See how this works out. Blade, does a 17 hit?
It would if Blade did not cast Cutting Words.
Well, you have Bane already up. So you won't need it.
That's right. God damn it.
As a tongue comes lashing wildly out at you, kind of crashes around you, it's spiny and slimy, and rips back from the ground to this creature's mouth. And let's see here. Just making sure I have it right. Okay. As it whips its tongue back into its mouth, it growls menacingly, and with a rather kind of stumbling, falling forward motion, it takes a wild chomp at Gladier. Oh, I don't think a 15 hits, does it?
15 does not hit.
as this thing kind of a massive jaw just kind of seems to come at you out of nowhere and crash around you, you step out of the way and maybe even use your shield to bash some of these fangs away, and it doesn't cause any damage. But briefly you were almost in this thing's maw. Aside from that, Logos, you are up. This thing is looking rough and currently tumbling with some of your party mates.
Did it move?
5 feet or so, yeah.
Damn. Fuck it. I'll just use my action to move the beam over it.
Okay, as you move the beam back to sizzling this creature, I'm going to give you a con save. Boosh. 27 on the con save.
Doesn't Bane help on saving throws?
Oh, you know what? You're right. I do have to.
It does.
Take it down to a 23.
Close, 24.
You take 3 points of radiant damage.
All right.
And I'm going to use my bonus action to cast some healing word at Gladier.
All right, roll that out. And what's the word?
I'm going to go with Overliable. Heal. It's only, max heal. 8 points of heal to Gladier.
Nice. Heal me.
Nice. As this, you knock this out. Anything else? You still got some movement or something? No? All right. Moving on down. Blade, bringing up the bottom of the round. You're up.
All right. Blade is going to be kind of looking once again around at the surrounding bullywugs and seeing if there's of any support or if they are just kind of cowering in fear.
Give me an insight check.
Insight +1. 15?
With a 15, you find it's kind of a mixture of both. Some people are horrified and scared. Others are encouraged by what's going on.
All right. So Blade is going to kind of just unsure. Is going to kind of raise his hands into the air and kind of throw his loot onto, swing it back onto his back and raise his hands into the air and just go wub 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 wub, and he is going to cast Shatter on this behemoth frog here.
Okay, so what do you need from me? A con save?
Con save, yep, of 16.
Oh, that's a 12.
12. Okay, and I'm sorry, and I was casting that at 4th level.
Very
Using the
nice.
final slot. Let me just roll out that damage. For 20 points of thunder damage.
Blade, go ahead and tell me how you want to do this.
So I just kind of see Blade looking around again, just kind of trying to get the backing of the bullywugs to kind of turn against this giant entity that they've veered. And so you just see kind of a shimmer of, thunder and lightning kind of flicker. And then you just see two stalks of his eyeballs kind of just light up like a yellow and just explode.
Black ichor kind of just sprays everywhere, and this giant creature just kind of goes limp, falling to the ground. And the bullywugs, all onlookers, look forth in stunned silence. Some cheerfully raise their hands to you as they walk back into the jungle and slowly begin dispersing. Others look broken-hearted, perhaps devastated, looking back sadly with some fondness upon this massive beast. But with the fighting over and the spectacle done, the bullywugs slowly disperse back into the swamp. And you guys are currently out of combat for the time being. Gladier and Renwick completely covered in this black ichor. And the rest of you still seem to be in pretty good shape.
Gladiator is just gonna completely ignore everyone and walk immediately to the water and start just jump in and just start scraping off this and scrubbing off this fucking nasty ichor blood, trying to clean his brand new armor.
Okay, yeah, you take a minute and steep into this river and begin taking a promptu bath.
Yeah, Renwick's gonna do the same. I imagine as he's walking over, he just calls out to Blade and he's like, I mean, for fuck's sake, you couldn't have given us a warning before you blew it up?
Blade will kind of respond just like, whoa, 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 whoa. And then just kind of be like, oh,
I think my comprehend languages is actually still up, so either way.
You hear wub, wub, wub.
It's all just gibberish. I mean, he's just making it up as you say.
Oh god. Well, I think I comprehend the literal intent. So whatever you're intending to say with your wubs.
If he was just intending to say wub, even with your even with your comprehend languages spell, Blade is speaking a language you're not sure of.
Clues, but that makes sense.
He accidentally says "fuck off" in Bullywug.
Yeah, Blade is surprisingly fluent in Bullywug, but only racial slurs.
Yeah, he just picked up a book of street slang.
Look over at Gladier and if I'm being honest, his mouth filthier than everything that just happened to us. I didn't know he was so racist. I mean, I hate these things too, but I don't say the words.
Stereotypical bards, they got filthy mouths in every meaning of the word.
I mean, it's sometimes acceptable when it's part of a song, because you just don't want to skip the lyrics. It really delivers, but in general conversation, I mean, it's just distasteful.
Blade kind of has his eyes closed, puts his hand on his chest, almost proud that he was convincing to the other bullywugs, just whoa, 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 to himself, but probably saying fuck your mothers or something like that, something awful.
Some of them give you hand gestures that are probably hey, you're a cool guy,
This guy's cool.
Locris is going to go find out if this is a real damn baby.
Locris, as you unswath this baby, it is not a baby. It is gross. It is like a rock, or maybe not even really a rock, clay, and it's still kind of wet. and it's got like a twig or two sticking out of it. And as you kind of inspect this, what looks to be a doll, you are looking at this clump of rock and mud and twigs, and it kind of sort of resembles the froghemoth in a way. It's like a crude made statue of this creature you have just helped slay.
So after grabbing the bundle, he would have just barely pulled back and seen it's clay. He's going to use thaumaturgy to keep up the baby crying. Walk over to the behemoth, open its mouth, and throw it in.
You guys see Locris take what is potentially a small human child and like football chuck it into this container of teeth and blood and maw.
I imagine Renwick is like washing his mouth out in the river and just spit takes and like immediately grips Gladier's arm and just stares.
Gladiator still had no idea that was potentially a baby, or like that's where the baby cries are coming from. So he's just like, what the hell's wrong with you? I'm trying to clean off my armor.
He just threw the baby in the mouth of the creature.
There actually is a baby?
The fuck do you think we fought whatever the fuck that thing was?
I don't know. I just want to try my new armor. But now that there's a baby involved, they're just going to run out and kind of jog over to Locris. So was that actually a baby that you just... I mean, I'm going to give you benefit of the doubt because, we've been friends for a little while now. We've been traveling together. I don't think you'd actually murder a baby, but, I got to ask. Did you just murder a baby?
Well, I guess there's one way to find out. And Locris will just walk away.
God damn it, Locris. And Glader just tries to pry open the mouth of this behemoth frog.
As you do, you are blasted with another wave of this black ichor and some foul stenches. But aside from dirtying your freshly clean armor, you do find the parcel.
I kind of take 5 deep breaths to calm myself and then just move aside. Maybe like use my sword to kind of like poke aside the leather wrapping. Does it look like a baby Tiglator?
No, you find what Locris had originally stuffed away before. A crudely made statue that sort of looks like the froghemoth. Maybe a little less now that Locris manhandled it.
Glitter is gonna drop the mouth, sheath his sword, walk over to Locris, scoop some of the black ichor off of his armor, and then just kind of like cup both of his cheeks with his hands covered in the black ichor, kind of like an old Italian grandpa cupping your face, and just be like, you know what? I should have trusted you. I'm so sorry. And then just pat him on the shoulders. And then walk back to the behemoth, and he actually wants to try and take some of the teeth out of that. In the picture, it looks like he kind of has some teeth, or if there's anything we could potentially harvest off of this creature.
Oh, you could take some teeth and whatever else you'd like for sure. Go ahead and give me, we'll call it like a nature check to pull some of these teeth.
All right.
Locris just uses prestidigitation to clean himself up.
You son of a bitch. Oh, I also still have inspiration. I don't think it's been... How long does inspiration last? 10 minutes?
He gave you a few. You could burn an inspiration on the roll.
Okay.
If I go and help him, would you allow me to use survival instead, since I'm like trying to skin and work my way around the animal?
What are you trying to harvest on the animal?
Well, just helping Gladier, whatever the heck he's trying to grab.
I was going mainly for like teeth. Maybe we can get some
Yeah.
health stocks, but I don't know how well those are gonna. They'll probably decompose before we get to someone we can sell them to. So I was just going for teeth because they don't really decompose.
I'll let you make. If Logos gives you the help action, you can make the check with advantage and Bardic.
Okay, yeah, I'll take that. That is very useful because my nature check is a +0. Alrighty. Okay. With the inspiration, that's not going to be bad. Just kidding. I rolled a 1 on inspiration. That's a 14.
With that, you managed to get yourself, we'll say four froghemoth fangs, rather.
Okay. I'll take that.
Can I try to get one tooth of my own?
Yeah, if you'd like to, I'll let you. You could take on a survival check if you want to just pluck a tooth.
It's a 25 total, 18 plus 7.
Oh, perfect. You definitely find like the biggest fang in the maw and expertly extract it. You know, it looks, it's pristine.
And I would also like to lay out a little hole and put like a little string in there and fashion like a little necklace, like a little trophy necklace for myself.
Okay, yeah, for sure. As he's
Locust
going
is
about
taking
to-
a short rest while they're doing all that to get his spells.
All right. Locris kind of just pops a squat and takes a deep breath in some of this kind of a wet, grassy area. The meadow is without the threat of bullywogs and minus the giant dead Icaru-covered one. The meadow here is actually quite peaceful and pleasant. The chittering of birds and bugs eventually returns to the area. You guys got a few moments to yourself.
Yeah, Glader would take advantage of a short rest if we're taking some time after he just yanks out those 4 teeth.
Well, I'm feeling pretty fine myself, so anybody that'd like the rest, keep watch out.
Yeah, I think.
Since Logus is preoccupied carving up the beast over there.
Yeah, I just need to burn at least 2 hit dice to get myself back up, I think. Okay, that's good. Rolled 5 and a 10 plus 3 for each. That's 21 total. That brings me back up to full. Yeah, Glader just chills there, and he's just going to take a short rest and clean his armor off for a second time because of look.
Okay. You'll let's see. As you guys kind of take this short rest, take a little breather, patch some wounds. You notice, given when now that there's a break in the canopy, you can kind of see this volcano off in the distance, and you guys can gauge that you have traveled a little more than halfway to the other side of the mountain. It's probably mid-afternoon by now. 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon. As time progresses, you guys take your rest, kind of patch your wounds, and what do you guys do from here? Press on? Or is there something particular you'd like to do before pressing on, rather?
All right, friends. What's the plan here? Does anyone else want to maybe harvest something else off of this giant frog, or we just keep on keeping on?
I say we just keep going unless you want to set up a camp and make frog legs. I mean, it's a
As
good
good as-
camping spot, but it'd be way too long sitting right here.
Yeah, as good as that sounds, I think it might be best for us to just keep on moving. See if we can at least get to the other side of the volcano before nighttime.
It would appear that we're only a hop, a skip, and a jump away. So say we just push on.
I hate you.
I couldn't help myself. I've got to tame my anger somehow, so I take it out with humor. Give me a break.
Yeah, so I think we keep on going, I guess.
All right. As you guys kind of continue your trek, trudging through the swamps, the foliage does return as you guys leave the meadow, and you slosh your way through the muck. Lots of mosquitoes and things kind of bother you on the way, but there's no actual trail. You're kind of going by the map, and probably Logus occasionally directing. Keeping like a compass for the party. And as you guys kind of make your way through this swampy region for several more hours of slogging through, you do eventually make your way towards to the other side of this mountain. And looking up at this like obsidian rock, it looks like it's not a very forgiving place. There's not a lot of vegetation, you notice as you kind of get closer, and it looks to be a lot of like sheer cliff walls straight up for hundreds of feet in many places. As you guys kind of get to the point where sun is falling on the horizon, you're really at the point where the mountain meets this junglous swampland, and this, as the sun begins to set in the horizon, this is kind of another a choice you guys will have to make, or rather, if you would like to press on to these giants layer through the night, kind of maybe risk like a night climb, because you're definitely going to be scaling cliffs. Or potentially set up camp for the evening, like within the comforts of the jungle, perhaps, or maybe some third option. But tell me how you guys proceed.
I think it'd be smarter to camp down here at the base and make for a summit in the morning.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think it'd be best to tackle this. I mean, it's kind of a metaphor and literal at the same time, but tackle this mountain with full health, and we're all feeling rested and ready to go.
Do we have an idea how far the cave is from the base of the mountain?
From the map you guys procured from Pixel and his like explanation of it, looks like you're gonna have to make your way probably 3/4 of the way up the side of this mountain, and from what you could tell, that's a several-hour task. But you're within half a day's travel or so of the target location, but travel is now more vertical than horizontal.
So does it look like a mile up, or?
As far as you could see, you could see quite a ways up the mountain, but you can't see your target destination, so you're not sure 100%, but probably a couple miles at least.
All right.
Yeah, several hour climb in the middle of the night. I mean, you guys have dark vision, but I don't. So like, that's gonna be a several-hour climb up a mountain where I can't see shit unless we light up a torch or something. And that
And
could
nothing screams, "Eat me," like a bright light on an empty
Yeah,
mountainside.
exactly. Yeah, I think our smartest bet is to wait till morning and take the climb in the morning when we're all rested and we can see.
Do we see any flowers right by us?
Oh, you're halfway into this jungle-ish area. You haven't quite left yet, but go ahead and give me, we'll say, either a survival or a investigation. I'd also
15
accept
on
nature.
investigation.
What was it?
15 on investigation.
Oh yeah, you find several different types of jungle flower. Is there anything particular you're looking for? There's some vines that have these like white flowers directly nearby, but
Just some nearby flowers.
Yeah, there's several different species to choose from. The nearest, seem to be wrapping around a vine that's wrapping around a branch, white little petals and things.
Locust is just going to collect a couple, and then he's going to make just a crappy looking bouquet and walk up to Blade and say, "Oh, sir, great glorious Blade, would you please give us shelter for the night?" And present him with his crappy bouquet.
Blade will kind of, not impressed with the bouquet, but he's never received a bouquet ever in his life, so he's honored to take it, and will kind of nod his head and say, "For this, of course," and kind of when the time is ready, uh, emerge a hut of some sort.
All right, I got the housing for tonight set up. You guys handle the cooking.
I think that's on you, Logus. You trying to see you can find us some rabbits or something? Something to cook up? If you do the hunting, I'll do the cooking.
Yeah, I suppose. Can I look around and see if I find some deer tracks or some kind of animal that I can potentially hunt?
Yeah, go ahead and give me like a survival or a nature check or investigation, whichever's easier.
Wow, I rolled a natural 20 for 27 survival.
Nice, yeah. Within no time, you take a short walk through the jungle and you find a couple of large hares kind of snacking on something, and you make like a quick snare out of some vines and lure them over with some roots and things that you found, and within no time you have your hands on a couple of large jungle rabbits as you're kind of off harvesting these some game for the party. uh, Logos, give me a perception check.
Wow. D&D Beyond rolls are like so much better to me than a Riot. That's a 29 total.
Oh, damn. Pretty good. Okay, so with a 29, at first you think you notice kind of shadows dipping around, almost at like the outskirts of your vision. But as you kind of focus up and continue to kind of maybe ignore them while you harvest your game, you catch them moving again and again. And you look around and you do notice that several trees in your general vicinity contain several bullywugs, and they seem to be watching you with like crazy intent. Like crazy intently. They like are extremely curious as to what you are doing, and many of them, some of them camouflage into the trees, but your trained eye, you can tell that they are, still see the silhouette. But aside from camouflaging, much like chameleons, you are being observed by many of these bullywugs. None of them seem to be acting particularly aggressive, and none of them seem to be even really armed. But they are taking note of what you are doing in the jungle, catching these rabbits.
I'm gonna do a quick produce flame cantrip and toss one at one of the nearest trees just to kind of spook them off, and just grab my rabbits and head back to the group. And if they start chasing me, then I'm gonna take off running.
Okay, they don't pursue after your little dabble of magic. They give you a wide girth, whatever. But yeah, after some only a few moments, Logos returns from the brush with a pair of large conies, some large rabbits.
I'll drop them off in front of Gladier Just be warned. Did have an encounter with some bullywugs out there. Um, they weren't aggressive, but they were watching. So more than likely, they're all around us in these trees. So best to be aware.
Oh, well, that's interesting. They might have come a little keen on Blade there with him saying all those fancy bullywug terms. So that
I
might
don't
just be.
think I don't think bullywugs are that smart. I think it's more they were trying to see if I was a weak target that they could overpower and eat, and I threw some fire at them, and they thought it wasn't worth it to try to take me on. And more than likely, as long as we keep our guard up and don't let them have it in, they won't attack. But um, yeah, if they do sense that one of us is weak or alone, they probably will take a chance.
Yeah, we should definitely keep a watch up while we're resting tonight. All right, well, I'll get to cooking up these rabbits. DM, how do I cook these rabbits?
That's what I asked. Like, can you cook?
We're about to find out.
Well, I would accept an intelligence check or a sleight of hand check to properly season and cook these rabbits.
All right, well, I'll do sleight of hand because that's a +1 instead of +0. Let's see how well I make some rabbits, boys. Not bad. That's a 15 for a +1, 16.
Not bad. You clean them up pretty well. You know, discard of the guts and things. You even managed to skin yourself a couple of rabbits, so you can add a couple rabbit pelts to your inventory. But yeah, over the next 20 or 30 minutes, you rotate these rabbits over a little spigot on the fire, and in no time at all, the sun has set, the stars are out, and the smell of fresh cooked rabbit wafts around all of you.
It's not a gourmet or anything, but it'll get the job done.
So, as you guys are kind of getting some dinner in you, maybe setting up camp a little bit, tell me how the watch is going to work out this evening. Who's taking what watch and where?
I will take a watch, preferably if there's any sunlight. Like, I guess as we're going into sundown, I'll take first watch because
Yeah,
I don't
you
have dark
take.
vision.
You can
So.
take first, and I'll take the last two since I only need 4 hours.
Blade would also maybe like to join Renwick on the first watch as well. I think he's a little fascinated with his concertina and would like to maybe fiddle around with it a little bit.
Locris will take second watch since he's got the devil sight. He can see 30 or 60 feet. So we're still daylight.
And Glader will take the last watch with Logus since the sun might be coming up towards the end of it. That's probably the best time for him to take a watch.
Okay, so that being said, mostly the night is uneventful, but on the second watch, Locris, go ahead and give me some perception checks.
Do I get advantage since it's bright outside?
We'll say no.
Well, in that case, 17.
Got a 19.
So your comrades are all asleep, and you're looking out over camp and things, and you notice that from the safety of this little hut you guys are in, you guys notice like a small crew of bullywogs bravely gets pretty close. They're not like within arm's distance or anything, but it seems to be like maybe the slightest shuffle, maybe a breeze on the wind. But when you look out, you do see in the not too far distance, like several bullywogs. They look to have their attention on something that they're carrying, or you're not sure. But they do disperse shortly after you guys see them, and only sticking around for maybe a few minutes. But aside from that, everything is uneventful, and another dawn rises upon Danaal Wisech, with you guys kind of at the base of this large obsidian mountain.
As everybody starts to stir and the night's over, Locris is going to go where the bullywugs were before they dispersed and see if they left anything behind.
Logus would go with him.
As you guys kind of jaunt over there, you do find a familiar stack of stones and a wrapping, leather wrapping. Looks like to how someone would swaddle a child. And next to this stack of stones and this potentially swaddled child are two bullywogs, completely stripped down of all their gear, and they are bound and gagged.
What the fuck?
We're gods.
Oh, are they sacrificing this to us?
Yes. So I know how you feel about Sturgis, so you could go at it if you want. But
Unconfirmed, Locris. Unconfirmed. Captain, the rest of the group, y'all should check this out.
Later, will walk over.
Yeah, there's a stack of rocks with this leather-bound parcel, similar to the one you guys had seen before, and also two fully bound and gagged, and stripped of all their gear bullywogs, struggling currently, trying to escape their bonds.
Well, no, there's a turnaround that I can get behind. I mean, fuck's sake, the first time we ran into these things, they damn near killed a lot of us, and now they worship us. We're doing pretty good.
How do bullywugs taste? Does anyone know?
No, I don't know. But
Is it the same as frog legs? Because frog legs are quite delicious.
probably close, but a lot more gamey since they walk on their legs.
Glader's gonna flip open the leather swaddle.
Death saves. No, I'm just kidding. You open this like leather parcel, and you find another very crudely made, looks like a doll, but it's just clay and mud and rock and twigs that have all kind of been mashed together, and it does kind of resemble 5 individuals kind of like standing with some of you have sticks for arms and like a big rock for a shield type of situation, but it is clearly a small like poorly made like statue or like clay model of how these bullywogs perceive the party.
Oh, that's cute. I don't want to kill him.
Yeah, I don't want to either. Glader's gonna let out a sigh and then walk over to the two bound and gagged bullywogs and Blade, can you come here and do your wub wub shit? And then he's gonna pull out a dagger and just cut the ropes and the gags.
Blade will kind of get excited about it. He might like run behind a tree really quick and just disguise himself and come back around as a bullywug.
Renwick, do you still have your skin suit? Probably disgusting by now.
No, I had to get rid of that. Unfortunately, I didn't have the proper oil for it, so it dried out. and became useless. I got rid of it probably the day after.
Yeah, I might have scared them off.
You could be like a bullywug god wearing their skin.
Wub wub.
Yeah, so Bladier, you kind of cut them free, and they flinch and they freeze. And even though you have cut their bindings free, they look scared, they look terrified, but they do not run. They just kind of sit still in place and observe.
So are these humanoids or animals?
They are bullywugs are technically frog-like humanoids. And speaking of, as Blade kind of returns to the party, what did you have in mind, Blade, as you kind of turned yourself into a bullywug?
Blade is going to kind of come up and maybe look at Renwick and just be like, "Listen, I'm not going to be able to understand any of these guys. Maybe with your comprehend languages, you can relay what they're saying to me."
Oh, I'd be more than happy to, but unfortunately, my connection with this creature's not as great as I thought, and that spell really only lets me understand what they're saying, but it doesn't really give me a means to communicate back. But
So you understand them.
I can understand them, but it does kind of tax the connection between the Kraken and I. So I can really only lean on that about once a day.
Well, all right, then I'll give him my best shot. Then he'll just kind of like go right up and just go, wub, 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 and kind of like point at the party, kind of gesturing to them, meaning like kind of like, these are our friends, these are my friends. Kind of is kind of the message he's trying to give across, not threat.
Okay, go ahead and give me, we'll say a performance check.
And Logus is just smiling the whole time. Trying to seem friendly, but probably looking creepy to them since they're scared.
14 on that.
As you kind of try to get your point across, they seem to understand. They are both kind of impressed that there is a bullywug amongst the party, but they both look very scared and still remain very rigid. But they kind of like nod. They somewhat understand.
Logus will go up to them and give them a hug. And then kind of like nudge them to be on their way.
They for sure flinch when you go in for a hug, but they accept it, and then after you nudge them, they just kind of stand there and look at you.
I tried. Would anybody else have anything? I don't want to be rude.
Glacier is gonna like lunge at them and just let out his deepest, scariest dragonborn growl. Not like actually attack them, but just kind of like like the thing where like you lunge and it's like, oh, like 2 for flinching kind of thing.
Oh yeah, give
Yeah.
me an intimidation check.
Okay. What is my intimidation? I don't do this that often. Being a big ass dragonborn. It's +3. That's not great. That's a 13.
They both flinch and they both like pop a squat in place and cover their hands over their head, but neither of them run. They stay in place.
Maybe if they go back, they're going to be killed either way, since they were offered for sacrifice. Means they're probably maybe fugitives or something. I don't really know bullywug society norms.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not. I don't mean to be callous, but we kind of got bigger things going on right now, so maybe we should just go on our business. And I mean, they'll either A, follow us, B, stay here, or C, go on and do their own thing. So, like, I mean, maybe we should just go.
You
Or
know,
give them each a
Captain.
dagger and see if they fight each other to the death.
Yeah,
Well, you know, Captain. You know, if they were thrown out and they are disposable, I could potentially make you another bullywug suit.
or we could just, we could just go and just leave them be. I mean, I feel like that's the quickest, easiest option.
If I'm being honest, well, the tables have turned a bit, and I've stifled some of my hatred, and I see no need to make a skin suit anymore. These creatures worship us. I don't foresee us needing to hide amongst them. And we've got Blade here. He seems to have garnered some level of respect with them. I think we're fine, but I do appreciate the offer. And should one of these creatures turn on us, I'll take that skin suit.
All right, then. Let us move on. And Logus will give him a tap on the head and a thumbs up, and then go about getting ready to take off.
They flinch, but kind of like confused. Kind of look around. They don't do much. They stay rooted in place and just kind of terrifiedly watch the party kind of do their thing.
Hey, Gladier, you should save that statue. That could be another memento on our journey. The gods of Bullywug.
Well, Glader's 100% gonna take the tiny clay statues of the party,
Give me the one that looks like me.
all of them. Oh, you want the one that looks like you? All right, yeah. Then Glader will hand you the one that looks like you.
Are they distinguishable at all, or do they all just look like?
Barely. Like they're somewhat crafty, but crafty like how like a 5-year-old is crafty. Like, there's a couple of twigs for horns on Locris's one. There's like a rock being used as a shield for like gladiators. You have a bow, and Renwick's is kind of shorter than everybody else. Blade has like a what looks to be a twig, but it looks to be like held like a musical instrument, maybe. Like it's very poorly made and probably won't travel very well. It looks like it's actively falling apart as you're handling it, but it is what it is.
And Glader just
Locust is going
everyone's
to
up
use
party.
Ray of Frost to freeze his and then put it in the bag of holding.
Ah, nice, very nice.
Yeah, Glader hands everyone's respective decomposing statues to each other.
All right. As you guys kind of pass these things out, and these terrified bullywogs stand looking at you guys confused, it looks like their only way to go from here is going to be up. It looks like you have quite the venture, about 3/4 of the way up this obsidian rock tower, rather, this giant mountain. So is there anything you guys need to do kind of like morning ritual wise as you guys kind of prepare for what is probably going to be more than a hike? It looks like at some point you're going to have to probably scale walls. So if you guys have any like climbers kits or spells you'd like to prepare, now's probably the time.
Well, boys, I'd like to take this time to remind you that I'm fairly certain we have potions of climbing that we've gotten way, way back in the day. So if there's anybody that's particularly uncomfortable, we do have 2 potions. And that will give you, let's see, advantage on your athletics checks for up to an hour,
Yeah, I could do decent with acrobatics. I can't do shit with athletics.
I'm not great at climbing. I'm very quick on my feet, but when it comes to the upper body, not so much.
I think I'll be all right climbing up this with if anyone else needs it more, they can definitely take it. I don't have any sort of climbing tools, but I'm fairly confident I can climb up this all right.
Okay, so as you guys kind of get set for your morning adventures, and you do kind of set off in this rather steep pace, you do get to the point where it does become quite difficult to travel, and so I am gonna have to ask everybody give me an athletics check for like a sort of climb check, if you will, as you guys kind of make your way up this mountain. Nothing potentially lethal, but there will be, a cause to, failure or epic failure on this athletics check, rather. So, if everybody could give me an athletics check, we'll see where we land from there.
If anyone wants to take those potions, take them now.
Correct.
They only
What
last
did
for an
the
hour, and it's going to take several hours to climb, right?
So it's a combination of rough hiking and actually like scaling walls. So you could potentially save, the potion until it's more than a rough hike and actually, vertical movement. So you could, I'll say you could, get advantage on the rolls or whatever.
Wait,
Yeah.
You could
sorry,
save it. You could save it till you need it, essentially.
okay, gotcha. Yeah, I was going to say I would like to save one of them for when we get into like the worst part of the climb, essentially.
Okay, yeah. So like after quite a rough and incline of a hike, you guys do get to a point where it's vertical walls. So, what do we got for climb checks? Start off at, I don't know, Anthony or Logos. Maybe.
I wrote a 15 athletics.
Okay, yeah. You make the climb. It's strenuous, but it does. You make decent pace, but nothing too fabulous. But you're graceful enough to get up the wall, no problem. Follow that up with Blade.
13 for Blade.
Blade, you struggle a bit more. You don't find it as easy or as graceful as Logos did. You slide a bit here and there. Have to grasp onto save your balance and whatnot. You do eventually make it, but you suffer some close claws, some scrapes and such across maybe your hands and things. Maybe you break a nail from gripping so hard, but you do take 4 points of we'll call it piercing damage. 4 points of damage from close encounters as you make your way up this rock wall, but you do eventually make it.
Gotcha.
Gladiator.
We're at 18 for 25.
You make it swift. In fact, even though Logos started before you, you pass him and make it to the top first. Locris.
17.
Similar to Logos, kind of a struggle, but you do make it up. You're nice and worked out by the end, but you make it to the top without incident. And Renwick.
Fuck me, I rolled a 4 for a 7.
Renwick, you have a hell of a time getting up this hill. In fact, you slide and stumble back down it several times, and it's more of a struggle for you than it is for any of your other comrades, unfortunately. And you end up taking, we'll call it 10 bludgeoning damage as you kind of try to make your way up this mountain. You do eventually make it, but you take about 10 damage doing so.
Oh, I'm fairly certain I rolled my ankle. You could have tossed down a rope or something. I told you I wasn't good with my arms.
As you guys kind of stretch and whatnot, make your way up this mountain even further, more strict, more like steep hiking and more vertical walls, but eventually, following the map given to you by Pixel Gunner, you make your way towards what you perceive to be this the giant's lair. You can see from a good bit away that there is a large hole in the earth, in this side of this mountain or volcano. And from a distance, you can also hear what appears to be talking fire giants. You don't speak giant, any of you. You can't quite pick out what they're saying at the moment, but you are near enough to the entrance of the cave to hear fire giants maybe having a conversation. They don't have line of sight on you yet, but from here, how would you guys like to proceed?
Locris would cast comprehend languages to hear what the giants are saying.
Okay. As you cast a spell and kind of cast your ear to the wind, what is at first kind of some garbled gibberish turns out to be a pair of fire giants having a conversation. Sounds like they're one grumbles about guard duty, and the other agrees or mentions maybe getting some ale or some food later, and then it takes you a bit, but you realize that they're talking about playing cards, or maybe they are playing cards. You can't quite see them. They're like around the next bend, but they have very deep, like rumbling voices. But yeah, it's essentially a couple of fire giants playing cards and complaining about work.
All right, so the giants up ahead are distracted. If they're guards, they're doing a shit job of it. So I think we can quietly move ahead and still get by without too much of an issue.
Well, again, I hate to say it, but I'm not too stealthy in my current attire. Should
DM, you said we could see the mouth of the cave, right? From where we currently were?
Yeah, well, from like as you were traveling up the mountain, you could see where the mouth of this cave was because it's fairly large, like a large hole in the side of the mountain. But from your current location, that hole seems to be around like the next bend or so. So you currently do not have visuals on it, but you know from seeing it as you were climbing that you are very, very close.
we send some
Okay.
people
I
ahead?
have an idea.
Okay.
Logus, hop around the corner and see if they're at the mouth of the cave or inside the cave or a little bit by it. If we have to sneak by, I could dimension door over, taking Glader with me so he's not making any noise. And that'd give you guys a much quieter time. But I don't want to go pop into
Also,
the mouth of the cave and have them right there saying hello.
I also have something to make us a little more sneaky. If that's the move, I can put it right now. Let me double check real quick.
Yeah, that could also help if you can make us a little more stealthy.
Trying to see how long it lasts.
I think it's an
Oh,
hour.
for an hour. Yeah. You know what? Just to play it safe, I'm gonna do it right now. I'm gonna cast Pass Without a Trace on the party, and everyone gets a +10 to stealth checks. And then I'm gonna sneak up and try to take a peek into the cave to see what I see.
Okay, as you sneak around the next bend, give me both a stealth check and a perception check.
Stealth is a 34. I rolled 16 plus 8 for 24 plus 10, 34. And then perception is a 21.
So silent and like a shadow, you just kind of creep around the next bend, and you see a pair of fire giants, both sitting on a stool. Looks to be made of stone, and it's roughly U-sized. It's not very small. And the two of them are sitting on either side of what appears to be a large cave mouth, 15, maybe 20 feet in width, and about that as high as well. And they are both sitting on these little stone, like bar stools almost. And in between them, it looks to be a table at first, where they are playing cards. It looks like there's some large cups of what is probably ale, maybe some foodstuffs from the giant, like entire cows that are half eaten on the table. And they are playing cards, it looks like, with some giant-sized cards. But you notice right away that the table looks to be, at least the legs and surrounding the legs, looks to be made from bones, like bones of large creatures, perhaps other giants or giant creatures. And all the way around this table, these bones kind of make a cage. And within this cage are, looks to be several moving figures, humanoids. But you're hard to pinpoint what or who they are exactly from this distance. But it looks like the cage is full of people.
And how many giants were there in there that I saw?
Two, one on either side of this cave entrance into the mountain.
Okay. And how deep in the cave did you say they were?
They are actually not in the cave. They are like right at the mouth of the cave. They are technically outside of it on either side, and they're playing a card game on this table that doubles as like a slave cage potentially.
Okay. I'll make my way back to the group. And so we got two giants at the mouth of the cave playing cards on a table that doubles as a cage that seems to have people inside of it.
So I think we found some of those hostages that the town was missing.
Yeah, so that poses a bit of a problem because we're not going to be able to sneak by them if they're sitting on either side of the cave entrance. I mean, that we're going to have to go through them. We can't go around them.
Well, they were busy playing cards. I mean, we could potentially sneak by them.
Yeah, I guess we could try, or we can either try and sneak by them or try and just catch them by surprise and take them out.
Well, let's ask the honest question. Glader, would you be able to ignore the people inside the cage?
If I was sure that we were coming back to save them, I can forgo them at the moment, but I can't just say that I'm just going to leave them here for good. I mean, I do agree that, like I said before, cutting the snake or cutting the head off the snake is the most efficient way to solve this problem. So if we're sneaking by to get rid of the leader and causing discourse and saving the hostages that way, but I'm not going to leave them for good.
Yeah, we kill that. We kill the general. Those hostages are going to be giant snack.
Then yeah, poses a little bit of a problem. I don't think I'd feel comfortable leaving them that way.
All right, so we got to figure out our best attack option.
I mean, we are very stealthy right now, thanks to Logus. So I think if we sneak up on either side, like half the party moves on one side, the other half of the party moves the other side, and then we just surprise both of these giants at the same time. I mean, there's a decent chance we take them both out right away, or if not, very quickly. We just got to get the jump on them before they see us.
But it poses the problem of fighting giants in an enclosed area.
I think that's almost an advantage to us. We're smaller, we can move around. They're big, they're clunky. They're in a tiny space.
Yeah,
this
but
this
giants pack a
cage,
wall up.
this cage, did it have a door, or is the only entrance to the cage by taking that top off?
Did I see that, Sean?
As far as you could tell, you did not see a door, so Renwick's probably got the right idea, taking the top off.
So no easy way to free this hostages either. All right,
Is there a
so
way that we can potentially make them fall down the volcano by slipping and sliding or something?
so the way, from what Logus saw, it was how wide is the entrance, and the two giants are sitting on either side of the entrance to this cavern. So like, how much space did he kind of see to work with? If he
So
was able,
each giant is, a huge creature, 15 by 15,
yeah.
and the hall is barely big enough to get, one at a time. So it's about 20 feet by 20 feet, the entrance. And they are comfortably sitting on either side, kind of playing cards, like both sitting but kind of leaning together, almost half-assed making an arch of giant and table and then other giant, as they play cards. So like they're directly in front of the cave. Like if another giant was to come storming out of the cave, he would crash into this table and these other two giants. So I mean they're clogging up the entrance essentially. You've probably got 5 feet of space between each giant and the table.
So it's probably like a 20 by 20 ledge with two 15 by, or whatever.
Right, and they're sitting, so but they do take up roughly the whole lower half of the entryway essentially.
Yeah, I mean, even if we don't want to attack the giants and free the hostages, like, unless anyone has some fancy ideas, I don't. From it, it sounds like we're probably not going to be able to sneak by them.
Well, then this comes down to the moral dilemma of, well, in all honesty, we might be able to sneak past them. It's unlikely we might get in a fight. The other moral dilemma being, do the needs of these people in the cage outweigh the needs of the thousands and thousands of people already affected by the graying? We've got bigger fish to fry. So if we're going to do this, we've got to make it quick, or we need to get the fuck on with it. Because that plague is spreading constantly.
I think Glader kind of still like grappling onto like the side of this mountainside. Just kind of goes deep in thought for a moment, and a serious look on his face. No, look, I don't like leaving these people to a potential death, but as you're saying that, I feel like in a time like this, the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few. So if there's a chance that we can sneak by, I think, and take out this leader, who also in turn might save these few right here, I think we should try and at least take that chance. And worst case scenario, we can't sneak by and then we save these people anyway. But there's a lot of people dependent on us to take out this leader, find this cure, and to save a fuck ton of people from this disease. So my vote is if we can try and sneak by, we at least make an attempt.
Well, boys, that's enough for me. If the moral compass says it's all right, I say we take the sneaky route. Let's see if we can't just get past them. Oh, we're awful small. They're pretty large. Can do our best. We can try to create a distraction.
Well, like I said, I could get Glader into that cave so that his clunky ass armor isn't going to risk anything.
Well, if you can take him, then the three of us should be able to try to sneak by them. I can see what I can do to tap in to my patron and see if I can't get him to help me create a distraction.
Locris, do you have to at least be kind of familiar with the place that your dimension foreign us into?
Nope, just has to be 500 feet away.
All right, I just want to make sure so we're not teleporting into a wall because I don't want to die. Yeah, and then the rest of you have Logus's sneaky, stealthy add-on that can help you out as well.
Well, then it sounds like we have ourselves a plan.
You guys start moving, and we'll see if you could get past them. Because if you can't, we can always dimension door right on into the fight. Whereas if we get in there and you guys get caught, it could turn into a whole different cluster.
Good idea. Yeah, that's a good idea. I like that.
How about we put ball bearings leading to the edge of the cliff and then get one of them to chase us and he slides out and falls off the cliff?
I think that's a brilliant idea, and I would be more than happy to watch you execute it.
A book straight from the writings of Wile E. Coyote.
See, what we're gonna do is paint a fake door on the opposite side of the wall. No, but okay. So Renwick, Blade, we're sneaking up first.
Yeah, so who would like to sneak through this fire giant area first, I guess?
Well, I suppose I can take point and try to create a distraction that'll help the two of you out even further.
Alright, so who's going first?
I will go first.
Alright, give me a stealth check. Don't forget your sweet bonuses from Pass Without Trace.
Is that a plus 10?
I think so, yes.
Automatic to whatever you roll.
Awesome. So I have a plus 21, and I rolled a 15. So there's a 36 stealth.
Like a silent shadow, Renwick, you find your way around this bend, and you see these giants playing cards, and you, like a silent wind, just kind of creep under the table, underneath, by the legs of these giants, and make your way, probably we'll call it a couple dozen feet into this cave mouth, into the darkness, as you kind of look out of the cave mouth and see, I guess, whoever's next.
So, since I've made it past them, can I ready an action that if the giants start to, like, if they hear something and start to move, I want to use minor illusion to throw my voice past them to, like, make them look the opposite direction. I'm trying to, like, cover Blade and Logus's asses as they move in.
Okay, yeah.
Is that possible?
Oh, yeah, you can have an action readied.
Logus will go next.
All right.
That's a 15 plus 8 for 23 plus 10 for 33 total.
Similar to the path Renwick took, you, like a silent shadow, creep around underneath this table and by the legs of these giants, seemingly unseen. Blade, I believe that is back to you.
Yes. So Blade is going to, before he moves forward, he's going to kind of flip up the hood to his cloak of elven kind to gain advantage on self.
Oh, very nice.
And we are looking at 29, so 39 total.
Very nice. You, like your comrades before you, silent as a shadow and creep underneath this table and by the legs of these unknowing giants as they play cards and groan about work.
All right, lizard boy, let's go. Locus, I'll grab Glader and Dimension Door inside the cave.
As the two of you kind of fade through a door of purple and then out another one into this cave of darkness, right near your allies, but past the fire giant guards at the front door, essentially. You guys kind of collect yourselves and move in to this cave. And what you guys notice right away is that heat is emanating deep from within the cave, and also you hear echoes from deep within the cave of clinking and clanking and occasionally shouting and then more clinking and clanking and maybe occasionally more shouting. It sounds like there's like a large operation, like a large mining operation up ahead. As you guys kind of look that way, the natural stone caverns of this cave, after only a dozen feet or so, once you get past the entrance, the walls and floor and ceiling, all about 20 feet in dimension, 20 feet high, 20 feet wide, all go from like natural rock to smooth iron. Looks like it is smooth worked iron, and it is a hall, a shaft leading down into the darkness. And that's probably where we're going to have to stop our session for today, fellas.
Awesome.
Oh boy, does it feel good to be back.
Same.
Get
Yeah.
that story going.
Yeah, it's fun that we can fill in with one shots, but fuck if I missed this campaign. And we had just leveled up too, and I was so ready to try my warlock shit.
And
Yeah,
now we're
one-shots
gods
are-
to bullywugs.
One shots are fun, but there's no investment in the story.
Yes.
Yeah, very true.
I was nervous as fuck trying to get past these giants. Oh my god.
Yeah, that was smooth. Haven't passed without a trace, and then dimension door to pull you through. Like, that felt nice. That's like one of the few times we weren't just like, fuck it, let's just kill him.
Yeah. I mean, for anyone who's seen Critical Role Campaign 1, I am Pike when it comes to stealth.
Yes, and she couldn't roll anything above a 5. So I'm like, even
Yeah,
with Pass Without a Trace, there's a good chance you fail.
yeah. Even with Bounce, I rolled like hypothetical stealth, and if you didn't dimension door me, I would have like only gotten an 18, and with like trying to sneak by a doorway blocked by 2 fire giants with an 18.
I made it pretty hard. I set the DC at 22, so you guys pulled it
Yeah,
off pretty well.
they
Yeah,
would have hurt my ass.
the fact that I rolled the lowest on stealth with a 33 says
Dude, Pass
Yeah,
Without
I
a Trace is
did
fucking
a
clutch.
wonder roll. I
Yeah,
did a wonder roll and got a 31.
fucking Blade almost rolled a perfect fucking 39 stealth. Ridiculous.
You guys are on almost borderline Vax levels of.
Yeah, man. With Pass Without a Trace, plus 21 to stealth.
Yeesh.
Fuck.
And we still have it up. So for the next
Yeah.
session, because I think I would say what DM, how much time would have passed of us sneaking by? Because that thing lasts up for an hour.
I'd say you cast it at the ideal moment. You know, it didn't take a lot of you more than a couple minutes to get by. So you're still got like 58 minutes on that hour or so.
God damn.
Fuck, boy.
We'll just snatch the damn amulet off his neck before he even knew it was gone.
So you guys, is everyone good with for this next Monday, the 17th for
I'll let you know tomorrow on that one because that's my one day off next week, and I don't know if my wife has anything planned. She usually likes to go do something on my days off. But as far as I know, I'm good right now. But let me just double check because I'm not sure.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
I'm good for whenever. So just keep me posted.
Yeah, it's pretty much because I'll be gone. I'm leaving Tuesday evening to go to South Florida to see some family, and then I'm not gonna be back in town until like Saturday, like late, like probably like 10 or 11 o'clock. So it's pretty much only D&D nights I can do next week is like this Monday coming up, the 17th, or Sunday, the 23rd.
Okay, well, I guess it'll depend on Anthony. We'll keep in touch and whatnot. But I'm good with Monday. It doesn't bother me. I just gotta know what day works. And if not, we'll run a one off or like I said, I picked up some kind of fancy a book full of one offs. So I wouldn't mind running a one shot or something like that. Maybe a series of them. Like you said, it's kind of hard to invest in one character. For like a one shot,
Yeah.
Could maybe
Weird.
string a few together. We'll see. Could be a loose campaign
A
of
loose
one shots, I guess.
Oh,
Yeah, I'll
man.
let y'all know for sure tomorrow.
Word. Yeah, I would aim for Monday. I think we might have something going on the Sunday after. Not entirely sure, but Monday definitely works. So fingers crossed.
Alrighty.
All right, fellas. Well, I'm gonna take off. So keep in touch and let's do this thing again soon. Yeah.
All right, sounds good, guys. I'll talk to y'all later.
Bye, guys.
Good night.